precedent that was stated by a judgment whereby he himself was a party to. This is the second time. First was the issue of local government, where it states that local government is the creation of the state. A case, him himself, through his is it Attorney General or whatever, Commissioner for Information or Justice or whatever, Osibanjo, won in court against Obasanjo. This same person have done it again. This time is not with the permission of the court. He made a national broadcast where all the countries in the world sat down and watched him say it, quoting a section of the Constitution that even go against the statement he is making. But we will defend it because it guarantees us the bragging right of saying we are the ones in power. No one can fight government. That is the statement on the street amongst people that we fought together to elect this president. Personally, I understand the psychology of Mr. President right from time. So that was why some people say, oh, we did not support the president in primaries. The president is a very rigid person. We know. But we do not know that to this extent, it can bastardize our own constitution and undermine our democracy. It is not that these things were done behind his back or when he has not been in power. All these precedences happened when he was in power and he was partaker of those judgments. Now, what happened in Rivers State? Some of us here, we are born and brought up in Rivers State. Everything I know today was given to me by Rivers. Everything. My education, my experience is from Rivers State. I spent 25 years of my life in Rivers State. What happened?
Bruna, go back and fight for your Rivers because
the state House of Assembly wanted to impeach the governor. Why? Because he has gone against their godfather. Shikinan. It doesn't have anything to do with good governance, the state affecting the finances of the state or whatever, because the governor decides to go against his political godfather. You want to remove him. And people say, why is it that the governor decide to act? Now, coming to this declaration, to me, it is not what is happening in Rivers State is not a state of emergency. It cannot be declared, it cannot be described as a state of emergency. It's a state of state capture. Shikenang, you want to remove the governor, that's it. You want to capture the state and control the state. That is what is just happening. And then,
if you permit me, I have a question.
Okay.
Yes. So let's read this through a bit. Can you hear me? There are three arms of government. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
There are three arms of government ordinarily. There are three tiers of government ordinarily, both at state and federal level. So at the state level, you would have the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. As it is right now in Rivers State, the executive and the legislature are out, right? There are three tiers of government: the state and the local government, and then the federal government. In Rivers State right now, there is no local government, right? There is no state government per se, except the judiciary. So now you have a sole administrator who is a retired, I believe, naval officer. Aside protection of pipelines, how will such a sole administrator, under what structure will he work to provide healthcare, education? Because those things are not suspended. Education, healthcare, run the state technically without the other. I don't know. Are the commissioners also going to go? I believe so. The cabinet will stand dissolved. Will he make changes in the civil service? So beyond bringing in soldiers to protect the pipeline, how is the reasoning, or how do you see this playing out, that River State will function at all going forward by a sole administrator? Which law will he use?
So I am not a lawyer, so I will speak based on my own normal
Yeah,
sense.
you can do exactly, do logical
What That
reasoning.
is why I said what is happening in Rivers State is has nothing to do with the state of emergency. Is somebody wants to be in Abuja controlling the state via the sole administrator Koi. He wants to have full control of the economic activities of the state, because I don't understand. And when I talk about pipeline, do you think that it was out of mistake or out of misyan that made Wike to say that thing he said against the Ijos? It is not a mistake. It is a calculated attempt to provoke the people of the Ijos the more to act. Me, I don't believe that whether some people blow this, they must act. They understand that the only way these people react is to break down, is to attack federal government installation. They understand it. That is why in less than 12 hours that the first pipeline was blown, we have a security council meeting. We have a meeting with the House of Assembly to give them a go ahead to do this thing. Then they know the right administrator to choose within 12 hours. If it is not preempted, then somebody should explain to me. In a democracy, people that we do throughout the time of the reason why they call President Muhammad Buhari weak president, I'm not talking about opposition, people in APC members, was because he was allowing democracy to strive. So they will give you issue of Edo. What is the business of the president in controlling state activities? You are the commander-in-chief of armed forces. You control the security of the federation. In 2015, 2016, when the Avengers started, we had Operation Python Dance. We have tanks everywhere. The president gave an order, capture the militants. It was very direct. It has nothing to do with the administration of the state. And we have the elites within the state interfacing with the federal government on the activities of the security agency in the state. I think that is how democracy works. There was no need to declare a state of emergency when you can actually direct your security agency to go against the criminals. Now we have one bomb blast. I don't know the security report they have, but that is why we have the Department of State Security. What is my business with the security report you have? Go after the criminals. That is why you are the security agency of the country. There's a reason why we have the judiciary in state and the federal government, federal federation. There's a reason why we have stakeholders. If you feel that your government is not doing the right thing approach the court. You have all the rights. But our own AP, which is my former APC, decides that the federal government have the power to undermine the constitution, and we are showing it on our timeline shamelessly. Shamelessly. Now, I don't understand how people interpret, but by your interpretation, pipelines are more important than the lives of human beings. So they can kill 200 persons at the same time. The federal government doesn't care about that state, but nothing should happen to our pipelines. The same government declared state of emergency on food, agriculture, the first year. What is happening in the state what is happening to the state of our agricultural sector? And we are happy. We are chanting. We are saying, "Oh, this is the time we have a president." And a traditional ruler from the president zone openly tweeted, and people are happy that the governor has been compromised, so you have to go. That is the statement of a traditional ruler in this country. He doesn't have to go by his own people that elect him, but from the power that be, that was not given by the constitution of our country. An elite posted it. We are happy. Today is happening to the Ijaws by a Yoruba president. And some of the Yorubas are happy and they are rejoicing. And they are saying, "Oh, the government have done well." We will not, some of us, we will live long. Oh. Some of us will live long. By the grace of God, we will live long. Another tribe man will become president one day. And he will create a crisis in Lagos. And I want to see that idiot. We are saving, yes, I will round up now. We are saving Twitter. I want to see that idiot that will come and say that they are against the Yorubas by creating crisis in Yoruba land. Me, I want to see that person. And by that time, by the grace of God, we will not die. We will not remain the same age we are, both financial status and the rest. God will punish somebody. God will punish people in on this app. Thank you.
Thank you. Can a sole administrator run a state? It's not even, I don't even understand what's going on, in the sense that the guy is even a retired military officer. So you brought in a retired officer to give it the garb of, oh, he's not a military officer, but he is a military officer, in quote and unquote, right? Because he's retired. Maybe make it look okay, he's a civilian, but it's someone you appointed and placed there. What budget will he use to run the state? Will the state cease to exist? Will the people cease to have needs? How will the sole administrator function? Because there's a reason this scenario is not provided in law, personally, that I've found. If it was, the law would have provided a structure to allow things to continue. So is it the National Assembly that will pass budget for rivers? What will happen? Beyond this, like, was there a follow through? Was there a thought that followed through this decision? That's what I've been trying to figure out. How do you expect River State to function beyond going in there to secure pipelines? I don't know if anyone else is thinking about this in this, like, apart from saying this is unconstitutional, have you
I
thought
shall this
about how will that person who is sole administrator function?
Aisha, this has been what we have also been thinking since morning. We don't have anybody that will come and say this to us. But then
Does he have the
Down
Can I
for
speak?
experience? Does he have, yeah, wait, Malam, yeah, you speak. Does he have experience to know this is what healthcare will need? Will he know this? What will he, because it's a weird mix. Well, can I call it a military situation combined with a civilian one? I don't understand. So, yeah. Who's next? Abando.
I
Malam.
think Marlon should speak since Danforth is not been raising up his hand, and
Now, Fose's hand is up.
okay, Danforth, you
Malam,
can
Malam,
speak.
go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. So, I don't know where to start, but I will start by reminding the people of the House of the Section 188 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that expressly states how a governor can be removed. So, in so doing, I feel that Tinubu have violated the Constitution of Nigeria by his actions of invoking Section 305 that has no bearing on the matter at hand. If you feel pipeline are being destroyed, you have people you award contract of billions of naira to man those things. You should hold them responsible. You have military men that you are deployed along the coastal line that man all these things. They should be accountable to that. You have all the people that are all over the place paid with our taxpayers' money. These people do not take responsibility for the actions of these people. But what did you do? In a Gustavo style, you know, when I keep saying things about these guys, when we were saying it, many of us pretended as if we were hating the guy. Call anybody that have lived in Lagos before, that lived long enough in Lagos, that this is a man that wake up in the morning and call himself a co, that he don't wake up. To the point that he had to call his son Ojueko the eye of Lagos. A man that will be having meeting with you and you want to go and sleep, he will tell you that Eko want to sleep. He want to go and pee, tell you that Eko fetor. This is a man that people gathered and campaigned for. Because that is where all these things started. Because we have to look at people's character. When people have a character of larger than life, they believe they are better than everybody when they have nothing in their head. This is what you get. Not to say the least, the same person has been on everybody's neck whenever this kind of constitutional infringement happen. He will be the first person to cry foul. I recall in the days of Obasanjo when they removed Joshua Darie unconstitutionally. He was all over the place. Even went further to say that Lagos State is under threat, that Obasanjo can do that thing to him. That's creating Obasanjo, whether Obasanjo want to do it or not. Now, moving further, when Ekiti own happened in 2006, he was the same all over the place. But to have gotten court judgment in all these things, and the court judgment has expressly stated that you don't have right, even when you follow the section 188, you must follow it to the letters, that if you miss one step of that section 188, the governor will resurface back as a governor. Because there is a reason why they want you to follow it to the letters. Reason being that people cannot just wake up in the morning, abuse the process of impeachment, and then do it because they have control of the house. A typical example was the one that happened in P2B's case. When they flouted the law and in removing P2B, P2B went to court and court interpreted it. I think Ladoja as well had the same issue of impeachment, wrongful impeachment, and he was returned. So what we have today is people seeing And this is something we have patience for this nonsense. We are people of equals in the status of carrying out their constitutional duty. One will start using his age to want to intimidate the other and start telling you, you are like my son. Who is your son or who is your daughter? If I start giving birth when I started producing sperm, a good number of people here can be my children. Should I come here and start telling them they are my children? I'm old enough to be your father. That is pure absurdity. But what do we have? Somebody causing crisis in a state simply because you have a friend, your friend who happened to help you, because your institution is that you is either you obey the rule or you'll be thrown out of the window. So you want to help him to institutionalize the nonsense leadership that does not breed, that does not yield any result in Lagos State that you people are having. A government that is all about borrowing money to do infrastructure and they generate revenue that we cannot account for the expense. Just like the Bible said about this, the Pharisees that wash the outside of their cup and the inside the cup is dirty. They paint one road and they advertise it, and the whole roads are all damaged. You come to a location, you just do one road, and they said you've done something. Some of them do not even do it well. So the question you ask, let us, and for those that are saying, I have been hearing it from some quarters, that if House of State National Assembly do not ratify it, it will not hold. There is no ratification. National Assembly cannot sit in Abuja and oversight River State. If there is anybody that have right to remove a sitting governor, they are those 30 House of Assembly members that domicile in River State. No other person, except that man is incapacitated or at the point of death. And if he's incapacitated and he's what is it they call it? His cabinet deem him fit to be running the state, he will continue to run the state. So nobody will come here and import something that does not exist and then want me to start to crack my head on how to do it. Section 305 do not state anything about removing a governor. He only mentioned state of emergency, how it should be approached to get normalcy in a state. And for me, whatever that happened, it's not even amount to state of emergency, because we have seen many things happen in this country. We've had so many crises in this country, but there was no time they declared state of emergency. I used to think that Buhari would be high-handed, but even when they were doing Operation Python dance in the what happened in Olo at some point, in with Hope Uzodinma and everything, nobody declared state of emergency. Nobody asked Hope Uzodinma to step aside, and the Imo State was burning. Nothing of such. It did not happen for one day. It happened for repeated days. All these charlatans that call themselves Umeloyi and all those useless people that parade the street of Southeast, declaring sit at home. Why are they not declaring state of emergency? Or should we start asking questions? Because it's absurd that unknown elements can declare state at home, including the military and the police will step aside. Why those people run amok, nothing will be done. No state of emergency, no nothing. Tinubu should come out and explain to Nigerians what exactly is he doing. And in a country where there is democracy, I think it is time he start packing his things to leave this country. And for everybody, Haruna, if you will hear me, this is the time you go and give back Rivers State whatever they have given to you, because this is the time you need to go back to Rivers and fight for your rivers. Because if they are giving birth to you in Rivers, that is your state of birth. That is where you belong. That state taught you everything you know today. That is the state you will defend, even more than your main state, because that is what made you who you are today. Because no matter what you say, me coming from Imo State, I owe everything I know today to Anambra State. And anytime you talk about Anambra State, I will be there to have conversation, because I have a stake. My parents are still living in Onitsha today. So people should go and defend democracy in Rivers. People should enter the street, because the governor doesn't even look like somebody that knows what he's doing. Because I have to state that clearly. Somebody is violating the constitution. You are telling him about the law. Does he not know? Big Daddy, there is the day they introduced state of emergency in the three states, Adamawa, Yobe, and the Borno. Go and read the statement of Tinubu. He claimed that Jonathan has emasculated those governors. They did not ask them to step aside. They only declared state of emergency. Go and read this thing. He's on my timeline. This is the same person. So when people come out and say that he knows exactly what he was doing, how did they deploy the military that is taking over the River State? So they already planned, orchestrated this thing, and I make bold to say that they know those that bombed that pipeline, because those pipelines were not bombed in the Ijo territory, because this pipeline cut across the whole rivers. Every community have their own pipeline. So let him not come here and be telling us the pipeline happened, that the governor should call him. What about if governor is still deliberating on the matters? What really happened? He was fast enough. Look at a man that has never cared about the death of Nigerians. People have been killed in this country repeatedly in their numbers. He has never made any press this thing. But today, here we are today. Something happened in the morning. In the evening, 7 o'clock, he declared state of emergency. And the people will come out here and be telling us one nonsense. Let me also remind those that are supporting him, because it's very, very important that we listen to this thing very carefully. Those that are supporting him, quoting that stupid constitution that they do not understand, because I believe that people don't understand what they are reading, because education in Nigeria is a mirage, that people can claim to be educated, but they cannot read in between the lines and understand what is expressly stated in the constitution. I am not a lawyer, but I don't need anybody to come and cajole me into believing what nonsense. Quote me to the section. Let us read it. My point is, it is okay for APC supporters to feel so, but if we allow this thing to stay, a day will come, the day somebody else will take over this country. When he look at a state that he does not like, he will send 3, 4, 5 people to go and fight and behead one person. After all, we don't even value people's life in this country. Just behead 2 people. President will wake up in the morning and declare state of emergency. And that's what it will be. So those that don't understand the implication of what this man is trying to do, we've had Obasanjo repeat this kind of recklessness, and people rose up and stood against it, and this thing cannot stand. He walked back on his madness, because this is pure madness. We are having it again today. So All people of conscience should stand up, fight for rivers. If you can write, write. If you can speak, speak. If you can walk the street, walk. Whatever you do, don't stand one place and think that this thing will just magically return back to normal. Because the people that are doing this thing, the people that are behind this act, they are not in lack of knowledge of the law. They understand what they are doing, but they just want to them the consequences of what it look like, what it will be to do it, knowing fully well that they will deploy their minions to come here and start defending nonsense, quoting section 309, 305 of state of emergency. That's what they have in their sleeve when they are doing this thing. And then checkmate the people with bigotry. Hey, you don't have to do this thing, you don't have to do that thing. And at the end of the day, we are having a part of the country shortchange. They don't have local government, they don't have governor, they don't have House of Assembly, and they will bring in a friend of theirs who happens to be their good friend, who the people did not elect, do a coup d'etat, and they install their own friend to govern a
Big Daddy,
state.
check your network. Sorry, Big Daddy, check your network. Oh.
Okay. And they will bring their friend the true coup d'etat, because this is pure coup d'etat. There is nothing anybody want to to say. It's pure coup d'etat. So they will use coup d'etat and install their own friend to do their bidding, probably start destroying all the papers of government, because he have the right to do anyhow he wish. By the next 6 months, River State will not be Rivers any longer. So this should not stand for any reason. I am not saying Ijo, I am not saying Ipere. Everybody that love democracy should stand up for democracy, because what Tinubu is doing is not democracy. I've never known Tinubu to be a democratic man. Forget all those pretentious papers they were writing about him and Nadeko. If you want to understand what will happen in Nadeko, go and look at the structures of Abacha, who inherited it. Gliba Shogori that you are seeing today returned $300 million to Nigeria to subvert his trial, to stop Nigeria from trying him. These are his right-hand man. So let us not come here and say he's a chairman of Nadeko or this thing. The man is not a democratic man. I have never known him to be a democratic man. He doesn't understand democracy. Whatever he understands is kingship, where he speaks and no other person respond to him. If you respond to him, it becomes a problem. And that's what we're facing today. And we must rise up and stop it, because if you don't stop it, more will come. Because they will continue to test water until everybody will not have a voice to speak. When you speak, they will arrest you. If you do this thing, they will do the other thing. More stupid laws will be enacted and nobody will say anything. And it might be a prelude to tenure elongation. Let us be mindful of that, because Obasanjo did the same thing. And he's taking the step of Obasanjo. Next thing we will hear tomorrow now is tenure elongation. And I will not be surprised. Thank you, everybody. Big Daddy, are you still there?
All the calls don't come out. Big Daddy network is having issue. I think it's IIMS. IIMS.
You want me? Should I go?
Yeah, I
Yes, you
think you
can
are the
go.
next.
Yes.
Mm.
Uh, good morning. Good morning, people. Good people of Nigeria, and the Agberos and area boys as well. The reason why I wanted to speak is because I predicted this is gonna happen. You understand? I predicted this is gonna happen, and this is just the beginning. People are not looking at the long game of this thing. You know, there's a long game in this. Rivers State has significant electoral influence in terms of their voting power. Um, so it is not just a coincidence that that is happening. And as it stands right now, win or lose, Tinubu has won in Rivers State. That's what people don't understand. It will take the sheer grace of God and the sheer will of the people to upturn that. So, because a divided house cannot even present a united front. That's something. More so, the governor is fighting for his dear seats. Though he has an alternative. If I were him, I would explore just to spite Wiki. He can just simply go back to APC. He should have even done that since. I didn't know why he didn't even join APC. Join APC so that you spite this man, then work against APC again. That's how you do the game. Kano State is another state that they are trying to create this rubbish. In fact, some of the APC supporters in Kano were saying next is Kano State. It had to take the red cap people to come out and they don't tolerate this sort of things, and there was serious um, rebuttal and fight back from the red cap movement when some of those APC persons were saying that. Like, you can imagine that they were boldly saying it. Next is Kano State. So, and if you follow what happened in Kano, everything led to that. Like, they did everything to incite that. The governor managed to upturn it. First, with the rerun election, which they said the governor had 100,000 votes that were nowhere to be gotten from. People were defending that rubbish. They took the matter all the way to Supreme Court, which later on he won. Some said he won because there was an agreement with APC that he was going to decamp, which I believe, because there was a video of Ganduje making a statement that if the governor should decamp, he is still going to work under him. Something. That video sufficed. We remember that incident. So I still believe that somebody somewhere is manipulating the judiciary. I'm sorry to the lawyers in the house, but I also have lawyer friends, like very close friends, and they tell me these things. Our judiciary is as corrupt as the military. So we know how these things are happening. You understand? The After that incident, you had the Emirate tussle, which we saw what happened with the Federal High Court and the court order that came from somebody that wasn't even present. That went away. The governor trying to exercise his own constitutional right, which is clearly stated, unambiguous. They said that one is a problem. Fine. They because they now want to support their own emir, their federal emir, they took a whole security division. Security where you know go see for local government, they can't give one person for one small compound. They did that. Moving to the next stage. All these things, if you don't know, there are things that were potentially going to cause clashes, because what would happen is that if one of the emirs decide to go out, oh, I forget, small Salah last year, Eid, the emir, or big Salah, the emir, one of the emirs, Sanusi, decided to do this Hawan Salah, which is Daba, the in support of the governor or the government. The other emir said he has issued his own, and the question even emanated that one of the festivals involves you going to the governor's house. Which of the governor are you going to go to their house, since the governor doesn't recognize or has dethroned you? But because All of these things were happening just to deliberately incite issues. There was a recent Maulid issue that happened again in Kanu. The same thing. Police, in fact, as it stands, police don't even listen to the governor in Kanu State much. I don't know if they've changed now, but they don't. They issued a supposed security warning that there will be something happening because everything is politics. With the wedding issue, politics, they turned it. So the potential issue, the last was when they were trying to dethrone a chieftaincy title to one of the guys in Bichi, and police came.
Ames, just a little notice. We
I
are
know, I know, I
in
know, I know,
Genje
I know.
Media.
I am heading somewhere. It's not like I'm digressing. I know what
No, 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 not you, not you. I'm not talking about what you are
okay.
saying. I'm just making about an announcement. In Genje Media is streaming this space live. If you prefer to listen to us on YouTube, you can just click on the link above and then you can just listen to the stream live. Thank you. Continue.
Oh, thank you very much, Big Daddy. So that also could have,
Fahim,
yes, yes. So that also could have caused a problem, as I said, but the governor smartly avoided that incident. In fact, some people started calling him a coward. He's too soft. He's too gentle. Menene, menene. But they know what's happening. In fact, APC supporters were telling him Gauna is coming. They'll collect their vote. They were threatening them to their face. And this is a calculated attempt. Like I said, Rivers is a major electoral stronghold. Kano is a see Kano. Even if you win 500,000 votes, no be small vote you carry you vote 1 2 million. So you carry 500,000. So imagine now there is a problem in Kano State, which that's what they proved for. Then which other state again? Kaduna will have been a good target, but they don't cause fight between Rufaya and Ubasani. I don't know if you guys are seeing the pattern here, because me, I am. They don't cause fight between Ubasani and the governor is APC, so and is with the presidency. So halas, problem not finished. If Ubasani was not with Eruf, was not with Tinubu, probably they would try to make a way and you know use, maybe they will say Southern Kaduna is on fire. So Katsina State, that would give him it's not a problem because on lockdown it's APC, suppose APC stronghold. Zamfara, you don't care about Zamfara. Sokoto is APC for now. So when you look at this thing, it's not just happening randomly. They are deliberately targeting places that they know that they are going to get votes. And this is where it's it I am pissed off. As as someone who in his 30s, I'm not even sure I'm going to be alive in the next 2 years, 3 years. And I'm not kidding. It's not because I'm a pessimistic person. It's just fate and the realities of life that I see every day. People die just like that. So I try to just live my life as much as I can. But you have 60, 70, 80-year-old people that probably will not even see the next 1 year. They are like, the probability for them is higher than mine. And they are planning for an election in 2031. Not even 2027, 2031. And they don't even care if the future of the younger generation is ruined or not. They don't. All they want to do is just to win. You have somebody coming out to tell us that the reason why people don't like his family is because they keep coming for him, they keep coming for him, they keep coming for him. Why are they coming? Have you not asked yourself? Have you not asked yourself? You would expect that with what is happening in Rivers State, at least Tinubu, and I want to apologize. I supported.
Sorry. Big Daddy, Aisha say she dey limbo. Big Daddy, Big Daddy no even dey here. Okay, go on.
So
Okay, okay, okay.
with what is happening in Rivers State, one would expect that. I'm sorry, I want to apologize. I supported Tinubu 2023. I am very sorry I supported Tinubu. Please, please, I'm sorry to everybody. Yes. With what is happening, you expect this man to play a big role, a big daddy role or a senior brother role. But no, that's not what he wants. He knows definitely. You can't tell me Wike is powerful. Who is Wike? He doesn't have any seat. He's not a governor. He doesn't have immunity. Whatever secrets he has against the president can just be something he will leak. Nobody is going to impeach the president. Of course, it's going to be impossible. So Wike can as well go to hell. But because he's what Hausa people say, Karam Parota is his hunting dog for his enemies, he doesn't mind him doing the dirty job. So long that job does what he wants. And people coming here to say Sim Fubara did that. If it was you, would you condone that rubbish? Was it not the same issue of Godfather and Godson that caused the fight between Kwankwaso and Genduje? Was it not the same thing that caused fight between a whole lot of other governors in other states? The Ubasani and this one that they are fighting, is it not the same thing? And this is where it beats my mind. If you allow these APC Southwest people deceive you because you are a fool, and I'm talking to Kano people right now. If you allow them deceive you, well, it's on your own. You are on your own because they resolved speaker tussle in Lagos State amicably. Amicably, they resolved it. We all know that that thing could have gone either ways because everybody was all out for blood. But they don't mind Kano State to be in tension. They don't mind River State to be in tension because it's not their stronghold. Because that is not their place of domiciliary. They don't have businesses there. Tinubu doesn't have businesses there. If today Lagos will be on fire, I'm very sure it's going to affect Tinubu more than anybody. And this is where I'm very, very pissed off as well. How many years did the government or the past governor, past presidents spend just to ensure that there is peace in that region? Today we have relative peace in the south. I remember growing up, in fact, the only insecurity we used to know was either crisis, this religious crisis, or Niger Delta crisis. They've managed to solve the Niger Delta crisis now, and instead of moving forward, you are trying to bring people back. Why would Wike come and be talking in a manner that he wants to incite two tribes? It doesn't speak well of a minister. What is he even doing there? People, and this is where this hypocrisy is annoying. Someone will tell you that why is Erufai just 2 years out of power and he's frolicking, but Wike 2 years out of power, why is he still going back to Port Harcourt? Peter Odili
Can
and
you hear me now?
yes, we can hear you, Aisha.
Sorry, I'm having network issues. Iams, you were not the one to go next. It was supposed to be Dan Fools,
I
then Lookman. But I understand you've been speaking for a while anyway. But please try and start rounding up so we can
Okay,
go
I'll
back to
round
the
up.
room.
I did ask. They said I was the one, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why.
I know. I think Haruna did not know the line had been drawn.
Okay, that's fine. Right. So the problem here is that we need to understand where these guys are coming from. Nobody should gaslight you. Nobody should make you feel like you, because you are APC, so you owe them the right to defend rubbish. No, you don't owe anybody any any rights. You shouldn't defend rubbish because we can see it from a mile away that there's an agenda behind this thing. You don't have to. This is not about sentiment now. It's not about the president being from a particular tribe or from a particular region. It's about him doing the right thing. If today he does the right thing, we are all going to celebrate him. The likes of Thames, Whiskey, Anthony Joshua, and all other people, that Wole Soyinka, that have done well, they are from the southwest. We all celebrate them and we claim them. Nobody's complaining because they are good people of the country. And likewise, You will not come and claim Turuji and co, but you claim Dangote as a Nigerian. So this is what we are talking about. Don't defend rubbish. When you say things like this, call it out, because it's not happening in your region or because it's your party man. And this is what gets me angry. Youth these days, instead of thinking, being innovative, thinking of solutions. I don't know whose
It's
mic is
like
across
Big
the
Dad.
speaker.
It's Big Daddy. Big Daddy is trying to save the space. I think the space is under attack.
Ah, voila. So instead of solutions, I will round up now, Aisha. Instead of solutions, everybody is tilting and tilting towards politics, because that's how you get rich overnight. We've seen corruption not just as a means, not just as an evil means of making money. We've normalized an anomaly, and it's very bad. So if you are in APC, this is my advice, and this is what I'll be rounding up with. If you are in APC and you think that supporting APC, even at the cost of what is good, then what is bad, sorry, then you are wrong. And if you are not in APC, you see anything that is happening wrong, please come online, speak on it, or write on it. These people, we need to make sure they understand that we are angry with what they are doing. They need to change. And this has nothing to do with tribal coloration or religious coloration. It has more to do with saving our future and kicking out nepotism. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ayins. Now, fools, let's hear from you. Then, Lookman.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Um,
Then after Lookman, Ijo first. Then Igurubi. Then Hafiz.
Please. Good morning, everyone. I think since after the announcement of the man in Asorok being the president of Nigeria, we all know that the Nigeria state has been captured, because the fundamentals, the foundation of a nation is its constitution. Everything we do as a nation is from the constitution. We are all the states in Nigeria, we are all chained by the constitution. So if someone came into power without, through the back door, not being a democratic president, we do not expect him to work for the people. The vice president, or the vice presidential candidate of Labour Party, he did say that this man, constitutionally, he did not win. We all know that he did not win that election. So do we expect someone who is not a Democrat to be acting as a democratic president? He is not going to follow your constitution. He is not. In the case of Fubara and Wike, adults like us, educated adults, we were okay with a president mediating between these two people when there's a constitution on how issues should be handled. We were okay. Some people come here to say, oh, he's the father, he should act as a father to the nation, or elder brother. We have a constitution. So does it mean that someone can come out because he's a president and we see a terrorist and he can say, oh, let me mediate between the terrorist and the police? Say, oh, you guys let's resolve the issues like this. Does it make sense to us as an adult? We all saw what happened in Okwama community, where these military men did not follow the constitution. Their own laid down rules were not followed. And we come to think that he's going to follow a constitution. He's going to come out to bid to what you think or what your constitution say. It's not possible. Many people talk about the election. Oh, there should be electoral reforms and all that. Do you think this man this person in Aso Rock is going to give you a free and fair election? Are we sleeping, or are we thinking right? He was going to put things in place that is going to take him out of power. Are we really thinking he's going to do everything possible? He wasn't even in power and he got power. Now he's in power. You want to take power from him? Are we thinking you want to take power from him legally? We always talk about, oh, is this legal? Is this legal? Is this legal? Is this followed? If you think you're going to take power from an from someone who did not get power through legality, it's not possible. It's not.
Sorry, Yomi, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know, Aisha. Please, we should try as much as possible, despite the fact that we are emotionally high. To try as much as to speak within the confines of what you know. Please, we had an election. Wait, we had an election. We had what they call it, court cases down to this, and evidences were presented. Please, if you don't have evidence to prove, not based on what someone says,
Okay,
try
Aruna,
as much as possible to
Mr.
stay within,
Aruna,
wait now, within the
wait.
confines of what
I
you
will
know.
ask,
Thank you.
Mr. Aruna, I will ask you: was it legal for Tinubu to meet between Fubara and Wike?
I'm not talking about that.
Aruna,
I'm talking about the election that you keep on repeating on, not the other ones. That's why I
let,
say be
calm
sure
down.
of what you know,
Now,
please.
Aruna, was it constitutional? Was it constitutional for Tinubu to mediate between Fubara and Wike? Please, can you answer that?
Down quote, I am not talking about that. I'm talking about specifically on the election that you keep on
No,
talking
no,
about.
you are talking
Please.
about constitution. You are
Not
talking
that,
about
not
law. You are talking about legality. Talk about this one.
legality
Talk about
of
this
the election. Wait now, understand me. There
one.
are
Okay,
two things you are discussing at
let's
this
do
same.
the
Wait,
election. Talk about this one.
uh,
What? No, just answer.
Danfoss, that's what I'm saying. Don't ask me about legality
Okay.
of any action he is taking about all that, whether a political, but that election that you are referring to, that is what I'm saying. Please, you should talk of based on what we know, not on based on what you feel is okay or is right. Please.
I think I know. It's not a matter of. It's not a matter of uh essay. No. This we want to lie to ourselves. We are not being truthful, because we've seen situations where open cases are upturned. We've seen it. It's not like you don't have eyes or have ears. The constitution was put in place to checkmate our legislator, our executive, our judiciaries. If the judiciary come to say, oh, this is not right, go back to your constitution and check what does the constitution say about this issue. So because your judiciary come out to say this is black, you say, oh, this is black. Don't you have sense to go back to your constitution to know what it talks about? Or do you think the judiciary they are abstract of themselves? So anyone can come out as a judge to give a judge to place a judgment that is not in the constitution? Is that what you are saying? So because someone said it, then it's true. That's why I said from the beginning that our constitution is the bedrock of our nation. So don't come out here to gaslight anybody, to think that, oh, you have the monopoly of knowledge.
Can anyone? I can't hear anyone.
I was muted. Sorry.
Haruna, are you done meeting?
That was the one that mute.
Haruna, are you done meeting?
I was the one that mute. Are you not hearing me?
I can hear you. Let him finish.
I want to address him, please. Sorry, I don't want to use the mute button. Danfoss, please, let's try as much as possible. That was why Aisha will remove somebody when they are speaking what is not right. Personally, I'm very, very emotionally down. And I don't want to go back to conjunction, what is right, what is not this and what is not that. We had an election, we had results, we have evidences placed side by side, online and offline. Please, if you are not okay with elections that have been done and passed, and you don't have results that shows that you can present that is in variance with what was announced, face the topic we have or you will be dropped. Please don't go refer us back to what judgment that was passed and what you feel or what you think or what somebody said. Please go on.
It is the same Abiola election that they said he did not win, that today they have come out to say Abiola won. And we foolish Nigerians, a lot, not we, not all, think that
Next, I think Mr. Grube, you go next. Mr. Grube, is it a Grube?
I think it's in job first. They said he will go.
Okay, okay, Ijo first, please go. I wanted you to even speak before every other person said. Sorry, Mr. Ijo first, I don't know where you came in. Go on.
I don't know. Good afternoon, everybody. Uh, my name is Molade, and I think first, just because of the discourse you guys were having before now, the disagreement between Haruna and the other guy just pulled me out of my line of thought. But I want to start my conversation from the history of the Ijaw people, because people might have their opinions on why these things are happening or what these things are happening and what they mean, and the victim would always be the Ijaw people, because whatever you can imagine, maybe the political difference between Wike and Fubara, whatever you can imagine is the issue for you, is not. The issue has always been resource control. It is the design of the Nigerian state to first prioritize resource control. I can pinpoint. I'm a very Ijaw man, and I know my history, and I can pinpoint to you 5, 10, 20 communities that have had a taste of the federal might just because of resource control. And this is the first time we're seeing a deliberate attack on a state. And it's the prompting conversation would have been Wike's statement downplaying the significance of the Ijaw population being the fourth largest ethnic group in the country and the oldest culture in West Africa. Uh, and in a country where people are sensible and understand how important indigenous people are, you wouldn't dare make the statements that have been made. And the series of events, I mean, yesterday on the space, we're talking about whether I work oil and gas in Brass, so someone was already saying, oh, these explosions are true or untrue. And I said, look, the truth is that whatever the truth is that is being shared to Nigerians is not as significant as the reality that we experience when such ego-centered or resource-centered problems start. In Okwama in Delta State, I want to ask you people a very open question. How many of you saw pictures of that community after the involvement of the Nigerian army? How many people saw pictures? How many people saw videos? How many people heard accounts or testimonies by members of that community? Those things didn't happen. For a fact, that community was not accessible by media, by the government. When I mean the government, I mean the state governor had no access to that community. the local government chairman, everyone was expunged from that community so that the deed of the federal government should be done. And what's the deed of the federal government? To secure oil and gas resources first. That is the most important thing. A country which is solely run on oil and gas would protect that resource before its people. And it's sad that, I mean, a lot of you might have never been to the Niger Delta. I see a lot of people are from the north or from the west. I also grew up in the west, so I can objectively tell you that you can be oblivious of the reality of the German until you're here. I've been to majority of the communities that are suffering in poverty. We talk about an OD community that socioeconomically have not found their ground since the interference of Obasanjo. This is over 20 years ago. The community has not found their ground. And Wike simply threatened the existence of the Ijaw people and threatened. I mean, most people, we, right, who are not from River State but are Ijaw, did not have anything to say concerning Fubara and Wike's disputes, because, like someone mentioned, the pattern that is going on, it's happening in Kano, it's happening in Kaduna, it's happening everywhere. There's a godfatherism play. But the wickedness of Wike to simply put the Ijaw people in this conversation, to say, look, you are insignificant as far as the conversation of the Niger Delta exists. And that is the most wicked thing that anybody can do. And so whether people are saying, oh, the president has strings that is pulling against, Wike has strings is pulling against it, but that's inconsequential. You have attacked an ethnic majority, a group that has produced a president, a group that is the source of the livelihood of Nigerians. A lot of the states that benefit from oil and gas have no input in the Niger Delta. Zero input. I was telling someone the other day, it would not be too bad if northern governors, for example, fund schools in communities in the Niger Delta because they benefit grossly from us. You check the list of the people who own the oil blocks, and you can't even point an Ijaw man that owns an oil block. Check people who own the refineries, who own the oil companies, the distribution companies. And what does the federal government do? It employs a militant, an uneducated Ijaw man, the person of Tompolo, to be the bone and muscle of the federal government in the Niger Delta, using us to fight ourselves for the gains of Nigeria. How many oil and gas companies are based in the Niger Delta? And they say, oh, when you react like this, you are simply deterring investors. You are simply pushing away investors. One of the biggest assaults Nigeria has done to itself was the killing of Ken Saro-Wiwa. And the Ijaw people have been so mediocre about our needs as a people that we've not sought the Nigerian state to, in fact, be accountable for the death of Ken Saro-Wiwa. Because Ken Saro-Wiwa is not a militant, a poet, a human rights advocate, an environmental advocate, speaking for the rights of the Ogoni people. If you have ever been to Ogoni land, if you have ever been there, you'll be embarrassed to be Nigerians. Go to Lagos. Fort Oil, First A&P, Shell, Ajib, they're all based in Lagos. They've built estates in Lagos. And they say, oh, they are afraid of the Niger Delta because, when there's civil unrest, oil production is affected. We talk about what happened in the Kalabari Kingdom, I think last weekend. And the card that Wike played, inciting the Jaws against themselves. It is simply demonic when we are here talking about uh, um, who is in the right between the president and the governor. They are both in the wrong. They are very in the wrong, because you are going to halt the development of a state for 6 months. People don't understand why it is irritating for me to wake up one day and hear that there is a military administrator superseding the affairs of a democratically of a democratic state. How does it affect the and the ripple effect would be that, you know, there would be back and forth between military and civilians. It's not a it's not an assumption, it's a fact. When the military is superseding the affairs of the state, there will be back and forth. There will be unconstitutional killings. The Ijaws will pay dearly for this foolishness that Wike is performing, and the Ikwere people will suffer, which is the truth, because the Ikwere people are a minority in River State. I'm from Bayelsa. I don't stay in River State, although I'm fully aware of what goes on in River State. But I can tell you that if the Ijaw people are 9 local governments and the Ikwere people are 3 local governments, prior to the next election, there would be a serious attack on lives, and it would be the benchmark for generations of tribal war. Because Wike will die and go, I will die and go, you will die and go. Our children and our grandchildren would reap the actions and inactions of us. Ken Saro-Wiwa was killed 20 plus years ago. No justice. The Ogoni people still suffering. The amnesty program was just simply an obedience of the Ijaw people to Goodluck Jonathan. And then what happens at the end of the day? We become livestock. We are easily dismissible. Because if the president is not sensitive to the ripple effect of these type of negative movements, we can't be blaming Wike, because whether, like someone mentioned, him being democratically elected or not, him being imposed on the judiciary or not, whatever the situation that has brought you to being president, you must understand the dynamic of the country that you are in charge of. You can't just be unreasonable, which is what I think. We're talking about a region that provides the country over 70% of its wealth. And then in this same period of all this insensitivity, the president sees it best to start initiating a seaport project in the southwest. I have nothing against that, right? But in context, what is the presidency doing for the Niger Delta? You're going to use the resources from the Niger Delta to build a coastal line from Lagos, cutting through all the coastal states, right? And then you start from Lagos. Why? It became an issue, you know, for the project to start from both sides, the Calabar sides and the Lagos side. You don't have any capital intensive projects in favor of the Niger Delta region. I've traveled around the country. If I've not traveled at all, it'll be 34 states. I've been to as far as Borno. I've been to Yobe. I've been to every state in the north. And I can categorically tell you that the north is better standing than the south. I have nothing against development in the north, but you need to strike a balance, especially when the people feel cheated. On top being cheated, we are threatened with extinction. Because in Okwama, like I mentioned, I worked in Sabama, which is a local government close to Delta State from the Bielsa axis. The military set barricades even in Bielsa for an issue that affected Delta State. The same thing is going to happen in River State. People don't know, but there are a lot of gunboats that have entered interior Ijaw communities prior to Wike's coming to Calabari. There is a serious attack by the military on the Ijaw people. You have issues in my community, for example. We formed the cluster of one of the highest oil production communities in Bielsa. There are places in my community we cannot access because it is within the military's control. And it's sad that it had to take an issue on River State for us to understand the wider dynamics of how it's affecting the Ijaw people. You're talking about livelihood. Prior to the discovery of oil and gas, most Nigerians didn't know that the Niger Delta was still the seat of economic power because we produced palm oil. which was our major export because of the I think at the railway time. What has been the effect of a true federation upon a people or a geographic location that has given so much and we ask for so little? What would it cost Nigeria to extend the developments towards the Niger Delta without bias? Because our appointments are always based off, oh, I'm making an Ijaw a minister or head of NDDC just so that I get this in return. If you go to NDDC today, a lot of the staff in NDDC are Yorubas and Hausas. Nothing against that completely. But you can't tell me that someone who is from Bayelsa, who is from River State, who is from Delta State is struggling, even after studying petroleum engineering, finishing with a first class or whatnot, is struggling to find his way into an industry that naturally is your domain. And anything that happens, we are basically going to be tagged as violent people or militants or whatnot. It is sad that Nigeria thinks about itself with so much high esteem that it devalues the indigenous people, not just of the Niger Delta. I'm sure it happens to every community everywhere. In the north, for example, there's illegal mining going on, and then there is this Boko Haram going on simultaneously. There's massive killing of Christians in northern Nigeria. What state of emergency has been declared upon these places? You're talking about even in Bayelsa, as of last year, I was traveling to Delta State, and the east-west road was blocked by market women. Why? Fulani headsmen were killing Ijaw boys in the interior villages. And what was the response of the state government? Right there where we were, the Commission of Agric and the Commission of Education, I believe the Commission of Education was from that community where this incident was happening. Asked the police to disperse tear gas just so that the people would leave the road for economic activities to continue. Is that what we've reduced our citizens to? To just cash cows? Your lives don't matter as long as we get the resources we want. At the end of the day, an Hausa man or a Yoruba man or an Igbo man might not see the holistic effect on the country, because a country that favors the Niger Delta potentially is a country that favors the West, potentially is the country that favors the East. We need to strike balance in everything that we're doing. And I think that is very selfish when people come here and take sides and say, oh, Fubara is in the wrong. Exactly how is he in the wrong? If you ask yourself sincerely after this space is over, what exactly has Fubara done wrong that would instigate this level of attack? Is he the first governor to have issues with the Godfather? Is this the first governor that has destroyed public property? I'm not saying that he's correct, but then there's nothing unique about this case. Nigeria is a mad country and nothing is new. These things have happened everywhere. But why is the reaction of the federal government so different when it happens in the Niger Delta? I think that it should strike your thinking as Nigerians. Think about it. What exactly is the aim? Do you want to expunge a people? You create all these issues, and then at the end of the day, we the indigents of the Ijaw land do not have the purchasing power to buy guns and ammunitions. We do not safeguard the coastal line. The Navy does. So how do guns get into the Niger Delta? How is there an explosion on oil lines when the federal government claims to have employed Tantita to protect the oil lines? Are these coincidences? Is this a legitimate attack on the people so that you can continue to milk them? Because the truth is that as far as there is no liberation, I don't mean liberation in the sense of an independent state of the Ijaw nation, but as long as there's no liberation, as long as an Ijaw man doesn't feel safe, as long as there is an opaque organization called the NDDC, called the NNPC, called Shell, as long as these organizations exist, and as long as Nigerians are myopic to the end, to the whole picture, these things are not going to end. The next governor that will come after Fubara by Wike's, design, might be someone who is just a yes sir governor, which was the design of Fubara. But as God would have it, he refused. And what does a yes sir governor mean for the River State people? It means that there's no transparency in government. It means that the minister can be wherever he is demanding in our allocation. Because what exactly is the bone of contention? What does Wike want to gain from the River State except resource control, except autonomy of the oil and gas sector? He had a rift with the NDC director, wanting to push him out. There's a bigger thing in play, and Nigerians think that is a tribalism issue. It's not, but it is simply a resource control issue that they don't mind pulling down a group of people to ensure complete control of the resources. And
You
until we see that way, I don't think we can move forward.
you're first. Sorry, we'll come back to you soon. Let Igurube go, then later we'll come back to you. Thank you. Mr.
No
Igurube.
problem. Thank you.
Mr. Igurube.
Yeah, Aruna. Thank you, my brother. Good morning, everyone. Well, is there anything left to say? There's nothing left to be said again, other than what we said all through last night when this um, coup d'etat happened in River State. First of all, let me just say that I've heard listening to so many hypocrites who who were here or stay here pointing fingers at Wiki. The question should be, where were these people? What was their position when Wiki was in PDP terrorizing the APC supporters? Right? They were cheering him up. They were supporting him. They did everything humanly possible to ensure that no APC supporter was seen speaking ill about any or confronting Wiki in River State and to some extent Southeast. Right? The only pathways with Wiki when the election of 2023 results came out against their favor. That was only the time they realized that Wiki is an emperor, right? But check them from prior to the election of 2023 and see most of them how they called Wiki the warrior. With all the recklessness of Wiki, right? Intimidation, harassment of Wiki against the opposition. They were all comfortable with it, supporting Wiki until Wiki switched over to APC. That was when they realized that Wiki is a dangerous man. So to me, these hypocrites, they have no legitimate right to criticize Wiki now, unless if they are hiding behind him to attack Tinubu. There's so much hate from day one. So that being said, to the new political family of Wiki, APC supporters and Tinubu supporters. Yes, they were all over the place shouting and calling Buhari to teach Wiki a lesson, and the rest of them when Wiki was running amok against APC supporters in River State and APC political parties and their faithful. Right? They were calling Wiki all manner of names. But today, what do you have? Oh, Wiki is the best soup ever to be cooked in Nigeria. So everybody must eat Wiki. That is the situation we find ourselves in Nigeria. is neither here or there. All they care about is when it is favoring them. That is the position. Switch Wike now back to PDP. The APC supporters of Wike today will descend on him. Switch Wike to obedience. APC supporters will descend on him. So that is the position we found ourselves. But in all, while Wike should be called out and blamed for what happened and all that, the first thing you should ask yourself is this: who was the person Obasanjo used to blackmail all the political enemies and threats under him? Who was the person using EFCC to manufacture cases and chasing people all around? Right? Uh-huh. So who is the particular individual today in Tinubu's government? So they know what they're doing, and that is exactly what is happening. Right? No change, nothing. It is still the same old game. I don't know how to say that, but I still owe myself a big apology for making a mistake of supporting Tinubu in the last election. I was wrongly taught that the man is a Democrat, but I don't know that he was a power grabber, a dangerous divide and rule tactician. They called him master strategist, but he's a divisive man, right? A power hunger, a manipulator that think that no one else is as clever as he is politically. That is who he is, right? I campaigned for him, I sorted people for him because I thought this man is a Democrat. But I began to suspect the movement and the position, his position, when he recruited Wiki. I was one of his supporters of those days that distanced myself immediately from Wiki, from his appointment of Wiki and the rest of them, because I know that Wiki is coming with baggage. Wiki is a man who cannot function without a central power. He will, any day you take away power from him, he's gone. He may not even live to see the next day because he cannot function. Right from his days as local government chairman, Wike can sell his mother for power. He can even sell, not even himself, he sold himself already. Wike can sell anybody for power. And when he got that power, he will turn it against anyone that stand on his way. Right? Tinubu saw what Wike did to APC people when he was minister under Jonathan, using one police commissioner Mbu to oppress Amechi and APC supporters in 2014-15. Amechi was nearly chased out of Rivers State by Wike and federal power. Yes, he eventually became a governor. He sat as a governor. Go and check his human rights record and see what Wike did to people, including a member of House of Rep that wanted to contest for governor. Wike locked him up for God knows how long. When David Omai crossed over to APC, Wike got a kangaroo judgment that sacked him as a sitting governor of Ebonyi State for crossing over APC. Claiming that the Constitution said you cannot cross over to a party with people's votes. The votes belongs to PDP. I saw how how he was supported and celebrated by the people who are blaming him today, what he did to David Omai. The same Wiki, after handing over power to Fubara. I don't have a pity for Fubara, right? It's not about Fubara. My position is Tinubu. Tinubu was watching this guy. Nigerian DSS went to River State to carry out their constitutional duty, checking out on a judge. Wiki blocked them. We saw all the things Wiki did. President Muhammad Buhari turned a blind eye and allowed him to run his government for 8 years as emperor. Buhari allowed him. Did Buhari ever call Wike and Amechi to say, I am interfering? Let me resolve what is happening in River State. Let me do this, let me do that. No. Buhari turned a blind eye. He allowed him to run his state. In fact, Buhari paid him 77 billion naira for federal constructed road by Amechi administration. To Wike, he did not withdraw it. He did not return to Wike while Wike was running this amok. Then after that, for whatever reason, Tinubu appointed him and made him a de facto governor of Abuja. Yes. Wike is the only minister operating as a governor, running on a convoy, calling press conference like a king in Abuja. Why Tinubu is there watching? Tinubu was there watching him denigrating the people of Ijaw, talking recklessly. Heaven will not fall if we impeach Fubara. So said Wike. Tinubu was listening to all these things. His team were listening to all these things. He was threatening thunder and brimstone against elected, so to say, or so-called elected governor. And you see APC supporters telling you, you don't ignore your godfather, right? You cannot fight Wike. Fubara is ingrate. The same people who are calling Fubara ingrate are clapping and dancing for Basani of Kaduna State. Obasani is their hero for ditching his own godfather. But Fubara is what? Ingrate for trying to fight for his own life and his people. Go and look at the so-called political solution by Tinubu. So Fubara should hand over his cabinet to Wike in order to prove that, oh, Tinubu is a master strategist. Why not call your minister to order? Listen, I have appointed you. Focus on Abuja job I give to you. Leave Rivers people. No, he couldn't do that. But telling us, oh, I am interfering, I am providing political solution. When we were campaigning for Tinubu, we called him a unifier. He ain't no bloody unifier. Nothing. He's no bloody unifier. He's nothing. He's a divisive expert. That's who he is. There's nothing unifier or otherwise. Tell me how you will sit there watching your minister insulting a tribe called Ijaw in Nigeria, calling them minority of all minorities. There cannot be governor this, there cannot be governor that, coming out from a sitting minister. And Tinubu kept mute while he was plotting on how to remove Fubara. That was what he did. And you see APC supporters trying to twist it. Oh, he helped Fubara from impeaching him. What is the business of Tinubu helping Fubara? If Fubara had committed a impeachable offense, allow the House of Assembly to do their job. That is what you call democracy. Allow them to do their job. So you are suspending a governor. I am talking to APC supporters now. Do you just listen to yourself? You are doing it to protect him, to suspend him for 6 months in order not to allow him to be impeached. That is the kind of logic you hear from these APC hypocrites. Oh, he did it to protect Fubara. No, let me tell you what Tinubu did. Fubara is not living. Fubara is not living. He used his presidential power to cajole him, right? Fubara will come back as a compromised soul and individual, right? He will be kept cool the moment he came back. He will now be a yes boy to him, Tinubu and Wike. That's what is going to happen because 2027 is around the corner and they must achieve it as a unit. So Fubara will be blackmailed into shut up. He will be blackmailed into mute. He wouldn't want to be suspended again. They will guarantee him even his second term and the rest of them. But he must play the ball for Tinubu interests. That is the only game Tinubu is playing. Tinubu is neither saving Wike or saving anybody. He's saving himself. He's working for himself, not for anybody. If you think Fubara is gone, Fubara is going nowhere. Fubara is going nowhere. They will use this intimidation to put him in order. Then him and Wike will find a way to move forward for the interest of Tinubu. And that I don't think Wike will challenge Tinubu. He won't. Otherwise, Tinubu will crush him. And Wike would not want to lose that national influence. Both Wike and Fubara played into Tinubu's plot. Neither Wike or Fubara can now say no to Tinubu. Tinubu is the winner and the winner in all these things. Two, Wike and Fubara played into his own plot. Now he's going to be the boss of two of them. That is exactly the game he's playing. For those coming to tell us, oh, he did it to protect Fubara, you can go to Beer Parlor and gist that one to your friends and allies. Right? He is, if you think that Tinubu is playing for 2027, then you must be a joke. Rivers State, Kaduna State, Kano State, and the rest of them, any area of his interest, he will create divide and rule immediately there. That's the game he's playing. Or if you look at their campaign strategy now, it is now Southern Kaduna Christian strategy and Middle Belt strategy. Should in case. So P2B's campaign base is going. They are buying preachers from the Middle Belt and Southern Kaduna at any cost. That is what they're doing. So he knows exactly what he's doing. If you think he's a daft, this is why they called him master strategist. But when it comes to Fubara and Wike, no, they are the pawn, they are the foolish ones. They're not going to say no or say their mind anymore. Do you think Fubara wants to lose the power in River State? He cannot. Do you think?
Sorry. Sorry. Big owner, please check your list. I can't accept any person.
So do you think that is so? He has started playing his 2027 campaign right this way. But it is unfortunate that you see people now telling you that Obasanjo did it, therefore Tinubu will do it. I don't know where in our constitution Tinubu got the suspension from. You said that, oh, you are concerned about law and order in River State. Is there any gunshot or any loss of life in River State? Tell me the crisis Tinubu was running from. The pipeline blowing up yesterday and day before yesterday was just a smooth screen. Otherwise, can you tell me where any evidence that linked or traced such to Fubara and his team? Look at what Tinubu was saying, reading something yesterday, reading out that coup d'etat speech yesterday. Look at what he was saying. Oh, I told Fubara, he refused. I did this. Is Fubara not implementing the Supreme Court? Has he not sacked the local government chairman? Is he not now communicating with the House of Assembly members? 2 days ago or 3 days ago, a judgment from Federal High Court was suspended to 27th or 21st or 16th of April. Defection. In under Tinubu, who called himself a Democrat, House of Assembly members of River State, Speaker read out their defection. They sworn an affidavit to back it up. They quickly ran along and changed their details from PDP and APC, just to make it look like, oh, we didn't. And you hear APC supporters telling you that is not what Constitution said. So State Assembly is now a beer parlor where Speaker cannot, before the mess of the House, where he was reading that. So it is now a mere place of joke when they read it out. Tinubu turned a blind eye in all these things with the court. Immediately they suspended the so-called judgment 3 days ago from High Court. So in order to allow them to perpetuate this coup d'etat. Tinubu is the winner in all these things. It's not Wike, it's not Fubara. Wike and Fubara, they know what two of them are fighting for, but they played into the hands of Tinubu. Now you know why crisis was going on in River State APC since Amechi days. Now you know why, who benefited from that. Now you know why Hope Uzodinma was recruited from PDP to come and hijack Okorocha's primaries with Shomole running a kangaroo, Shomole Tinubu's boy, running a kangaroo primaries in Imo State to hijack the party, handing it over to the man, the present governor now, with a PDP Ahmed Gulak. These are the people that call themselves progressive. These are the people that call themselves progressive. So it has been Tinubu's strategy and their game from day one, but so many people, including myself, were blinded with the love of him as a Democrat and what he did in Lagos and the rest of them. But because he wants that 2027, he will crush anybody or anything that will stand against him. It won't be his first and it won't be his last. But it is so shameful that you watch people who call themselves progressive condemn Obasanjo. Now Obasanjo is now a stand-in or standard reference for what Tinubu did, the coup Tinubu carried out yesterday. For you to know that it had been on plan, immediately they have found a replacement immediately, yesterday evening. That is to tell you he was working with Wike. Wike is ready to sell anything to stay close to power. He doesn't care. The so-called Supreme Court judgment that stopped reverse allocation. Of course, Tinubu is equally panicking. By the time you heard this allocation for 2 months, uprising will start in Rivers State. He need to find a way to pay the workers. So when the Supreme Court was taking their decision, the so-called decision, they didn't think of public interest when they were carrying out such. Now Tinubu has to go through the back door to carry out a coup in order to allow people to get their salary. I think maybe, like as I said, I always said, we were all born in injustice. We have all grown with injustice. So now most of us have now seen injustice as a way of life. You don't even know, even the Tinubu himself.
Sorry, Grube. I'm not seeing anyone's request. I'll try to solve the problem. Just notice to all that are requesting.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay. So even Tinubu himself and the most of us Nigerians, we don't even know what justice is all about. So what we call justice is that, oh, the other person did it and he got away with it, so why wouldn't I do it? Oh, my tribal man did it. Oh, the other tribal man did it. Oh, teach him a lesson. I will show you who I am. That is the kind of justice we were, born into and raised into. So we are more of product of injustice. We are more of product of injustice until the day 10% of Nigerians will test justice through justice. Justice is not about having millions in your account, knowing police, knowing army, having this. No, that is not justice. Justice is when your right, even if it is going to be trampled upon, the person who is trampling upon your right will think it twice. Because the system and the institution will come after that individual. We saw how sexual harassment was raised and the woman was slapped with 6 months. And they called it, rules. You must follow the rules.
I hear you. Mr. Igrubi, please, can you hear the Big Daddy?
I cannot hear Big Daddy.
Okay.
Should I drop? Let me drop then.
Okay, Big Daddy, give my call also. I think the next Toy.
So
Before Mr.
So that is so anybody who is thinking, rounding up, anyone who is telling you that it's about a pipeline blowing up or whatever, the person is a joke. Tinubu himself should go to Okama, where 17 military personnel were slaughtered, breakdown of what is it called? Law in that community. The Tinubu declared state of emergency, where we lost our 17 solid soldiers. No. So many communities and local government are currently under attack by the so-called bandits. Has Tinubu declared state of emergency? No. Nigerians are being slaughtered in hundreds and thousands on a weekly, monthly basis. Has Tinubu declared state of emergency? No. In fact, even they are gagging the media from reporting the atrocities going on in Nigeria in order not to paint his government bad. They know how to gag to do that one. There is no more report, this and that, as if, no, we are not safe. but a pipeline blown up in criminal activities, just like every other place. No, Tinubu quickly declared, suspended the carried out coup in River State. And APC supporters will come and tell you how Obasanjo did it in the past. When Tinubu was campaigning, did he campaign on the standard of Obasanjo? Did he campaign on the standard of Obasanjo? So it is so appalling, embarrassing, and shocking that a man that we all call a Democrat is now worse than the military dictators, and people are trying to justify it, and the rest of them. But just like as I said yesterday night, it won't be too long. Whether he spent 4 years or 8 years, another leader will come in. And the same leader will take the right of Tinubu or the position of Tinubu and carry out the same thing. But we don't know who will be at the receiving end. Whether APC or PDP or Labour Party, we don't know. Whether Igbos, Hausas, or Yorubas, we don't know. But when it happened, don't come cry. Tinubu has set the standard. If armed robber carried attack in any state of emergency must be declared to save the life and properties of those people, of that particular area. That is the precedent Tinubu set. Not about Fubara and Wike. It's the precedence he said. If bandit attack anywhere, Tinubu must declare state of emergency. If Aburu in Lagos threatened anybody, Tinubu must declare state of emergency. So, to Nigerians and every other well-meaning, every other person listening, both human and abroad, we are under state capture. We are under dictator, a pretender that masqueraded as a dictator that masqueraded during the campaign as a Democrat. He's now showing his hand with Wiki and the National Security Advisor and other gangs in the government. Go and listen to what he said. Then you will know that it has nothing to do with the Constitution of Nigeria, but for his own selfish interests. Thank you very much.
Okay. The line now will be Anambra Simp Akpan. Is it Akpani? Sorry, the name is not complete. I'm not
Akpan
Akpani.
Yang.
Akpan. Then African leadership, the ambassador Israel. So Anambra Simp.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I've been listening since this thing happened since yesterday, trying to avoid the discussion, but I think it's not wise not to air my view on this. I supported this government, and I still support this government, that's for sure. And I'm not here for conspiracy theories of
Am I the only one?
whatever.
You are not
Can you
hearing
hear Anambra?
Anambra Simp.
Big Daddy, are you not hearing me?
We can hear you. We can hear
Can
you.
you hear Anambra?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear him. Maybe only you. Drop and
Should I
come
go
back.
down and come back? Should I go down and come back?
Don't worry. We will tell you what he said. Or Anambra Simp, can you drop and come back?
Let me now whether or not go see bring me up again, that's the issue. But
No,
let
he
me
has to drop now.
let me
If
drop my
the
comment.
captain, the owner of the
Just drop
stage.
and come back. Aquanian, who is looking from confused?
Okay, yeah, good morning, all. My name is Akpan Yang.
Okay.
Yes, person from Akwa Ibom.
Sorry, Aquanian, before you continue, Haruna, why don't you send mic to Shrimp now so that he will just send the mic, he will accept it
I'm
and
not
come up on motion.
I'm not seeing him.
Okay,
I'm
but
not.
two of them are they
I'm not
follow
Send
each
it
seeing
to
other
it.
now.
him direct now. Send it to him direct to his inbox, DM, so that he can join direct straight away.
I've sent it to his inbox. I'm not following this his account. This is, I think it's the other account I'm using. I'm following it.
Enugu, can you co-host? Enugu, can you
Akpani,
hear me?
Akpani, go on.
It's a
Can
bit.
Enugu hear me? Sorry, just a minute.
Anyway,
Let me.
it's not here, sef. It's not on the speaker section.
Okay.
Go on.
Good morning. Good morning, all. It's a pity that this is where we find ourselves. But I think it has happened. It has happened. Life needs to continue. So what I want to say concerning this emergency is that they saw it coming, and everybody saw it coming. So there's no need for us to pretend that we didn't see this coming, because from the very beginning, we knew
I don't
that.
I don't come back. Oh. I don't come back. Wait, make I suspend you first. You have to be suspended first for me to speak. Uh, you no can do me suspension here now. State of emergency and suspend me. Am I audible? I beg.
Go on.
So like I was saying, like I'm not here for conspiracy theories and telling stories that touch. For me, I think the epicenter of this matter, the crucial of this matter, is that because I mean, like I always try to hold on to the law whenever this kind of discussion emanates. I always want to know what the law
Your
says.
network is disturbing.
Indeed, my network no go disturb. Oh. Go and punish my network. Am I audible now? Is it okay now?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, yeah. So like I was saying, I'm always like interested in what the law says, and the little I know about the law, Wike has no place in River State government at this particular time. He is not the governor. He has no business with deciding what must happen or what should happen in River State. That should be the primary discussion here. So anybody that is saying that, I heard some people were saying, Wike should have the structure. Structure of what? If anything goes wrong in River State tomorrow, the person to be held accountable is the governor, not the Wike. Wike is ex-governor, not a governor at this moment.
Please, we are in
Have
Nigeria.
we
Stop
lost
this big
Anambra
drama.
again?
This German people. Now, which network now is for Germany, please?
What does it happen? Now they hear me. Are they here now?
Go on. We lost you.
Okay. Like I was saying, I don't know where I stopped. I don't know where they lost me. Like I was saying, Wike has no place in River State government at this moment. If anything goes wrong in River State today, first way to go hold accountable now Fubara, not Wike. Nobody will be calling Wike because he is not the elected governor of River State. So, and that is the primary issue for me. That is where the whole discussion starts. The audacity to be mediating between Wike and Fubara, that's even what is breaking my heart at this moment. It's like somebody to be mediating between Trump and Tinubu. I will hold on to Tinubu because Nigeria has its own sovereignty. And the president decide what happens. That is the way it is in River State. Or maybe let somebody be mediating between Buhari and Tinubu. Buhari is gone. Tinubu is the president at this moment. So in River State, Buhari is the governor. Wike is gone. Whether he was his boy, whether he was his mentor, whether he was his household captain, whether anything, the person that is wielding the spare at this moment is Fubara. So there's no even discussion to be mediating between anybody or anything. Wike should go and sit down. There are precedences to this thing. As currently, Ubasani and Erofai is fighting it. If there must be mediation between Wike and Fubara, then there must be mediation between Ubasani and Erofai. Ganduje had it with Kwankwaso. Obiano had it with Peter Obi. Recently, Okowa ousted Ibori's dynasty. The same weekend, now him pursue Amechi Komot. We saw these things. We saw these things. So I will never in my life ever support anybody who is interfering with constituted authority, somebody who holds the power as elected by the people, given the mandate to navigate them. And the other person is then coming to interpret to say, no, it was my structure. We had an agreement. We said we did not see. Your agreement with the person does not interest me. What actually is paramount at this moment is who did the people elect? Whether you were the one that funded the whole election from Abe till Think, it does not interest anybody. Who is the person elected
You are
to steer
lying.
the affairs of that particular? Hello?
Go on.
Who said who is lying?
I never see the person. Just go on.
No, if you let me talk to the person now, I don't like interjection. If you let me, I go wait. The person reach the time, I go interject them back now. You know me. Am I here to say what everybody want to hear? I'm here to say what I want to say, not what you want to hear. So if you think I'm lying, wait, let me lie my life. If you reach your time, you lie your life. It's allowed. So like I was saying, even if Wike was the person that funded the election from A to Z, from A to Z, anyhow it may be, the person that we know as the governor at this moment is Kubara. So Wike should go and rest. There shouldn't be any conversation between Wike and Kubara. It shouldn't even happen at the first place. It shouldn't happen. Like the president shouldn't even interfere in that to try to be mediating for two of them. That's an insult to the democracy. For me, that's an insult. So I will never entertain that kind of discussion. I've always said it. Wike should go home and rest. If he was able to install a successor that's loyal to him, I call it what's the name again? What's the name again? Somebody that will continue with your blueprint. It is allowed. It's okay. It's okay. That's a governance infrastructure there. If you can install somebody who is loyal to you. But if you are not able to do it, you don't come and then be destructing the democratical process of that particular state, thereby putting the people who elected that person in danger. It is not acceptable. That is where my issue lies. That Wike had the audacity to be interfering in the government process of a particular state when he is not the governor. Somebody will come and say, when Fubara destroyed, what is it called? Their government house, he's the governor. He can wake up and destroy it to rebuild it. He's the governor. If you think that there are cracks on it, he's the governor. If you think there's no more in shape, he's the governor. It is not, you may not be okay with it. Yes, you may complain. Yeah, but he's the governor. He decides what happens there. He decides what happens there. So for me, without taking too much of your time, where I have issue is anybody that at first is entertaining the conversation between Wike and Fubara to be mediating to settle and everything. If I should be the president, I won't even entertain that conversation. If Wike should bring it to me and say, you go home and
Anambra,
kill him.
use your art now. Use your art. Why you know they called you? Use your art.
Which art? Well, which name do you want me to call?
Uh, who was the mediator? There was a
But,
mediator now. Somebody mediated now. Call the name.
but I just called the president now. Who is the president? Is
Okay,
your
okay,
father the
okay.
president?
Leave Big Daddy Jare in the wash you too. Leave her.
Big Daddy, you can. And like I said always, nobody tells me what to say. The day I start saying what you want to hear, may God strike me that day. I will not say what you want to hear. I don't say my things to impress people. I say things to express myself the way I deem it fit. So in case you're pushing agenda, I'm not here to push agenda. I'm here to say the thing the way I see it. First, entertaining the conversation. If I should be the president, we can bring this kind of thing to me. I'll tell him, I'm going to go and sit down. If this guy's not loyal to him, you should go and sit down. I mean, in the history of Nigeria, I don't know. It's come a flash. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. In the history of Nigeria, like I remember, I have not seen anybody that has been able to maintain that structure, that the successor listen to them, apart from Ibori and Tinubu. And Ibori's own has been destroyed by Okowa. Only Tinubu is the person that's holding it. I don't know. Maybe there's another person that will come and tell me, maybe this particular person or this particular person. But here now, I am yet to see. I don't know anyone. So it is not as if it's happened the first time that somebody brings a successor and the successor ignores him or her or anything. We have been seeing it. That's actually the normal thing that happens in Nigeria. That the successor listens to the predecessor is actually an outlier. That's actually their abnormality. So it's not as if it's strange or anything. So for me, that's where I see the issue. That's where I am coming from. That Wiki had the audacity to be interfering in the governance process of River State, and even the president is attending the case to be mediating between the two of them. That's an insult to democracy. That is an insult to Fubara. That is an insult to constitutional authority, and I'm not okay with it. That does not mean that I don't still support my president. I still support him, but I don't support this particular act. I condemn it in all and all. Thank you.
Okay. Akpaniang. Akpaniang. Am I calling the name? Akpaniang, are you there? If he is not there, African leadership.
All right, yeah, good morning, everyone. Oh, yeah, good morning, yeah. Good morning, everyone. Um, Thank you so much, Big Daddy, for hosting this space. And greetings to everyone who has spoken. Wonderful submissions. I've really learned a lot from the submissions done by Doggy himself and Igorube, especially with regards to the political game here, where he said that the only person benefiting from this, the ultimate winner of this whole hula baloo that happened now, is Asiwaju himself. And at the end of the day, both people played into his hands for whatever political or economic reasons. They were the pawns in the game. Now, my submissions would be void of a lot of moralities because it's almost impossible to talk about political strategy and then you will sound moral. So, in case I might offend people here, I sincerely apologize even from the beginning itself. I think it's important to understand that the issue between these two people, what we hear from the media or from our own assumption is that there were political agreements that both of them entered, whether it was signed or not signed. But there were political agreement and understanding that both people entered. Wike wants to be a godfather, and he brings someone who he feels will be loyal to him. And he brings someone who he feels is weak and will be able to control the person. And perhaps or probably there might be some other agreement that, look, if I bring you into power, this is what you are going to do for me. Now, these agreements are not moral agreements, they are not constitutional agreements. These are agreements between two people at the end of the day. And then it looks like when Sim comes into power, the agreement was breached. And then, for every agreement, there are consequences for breach of those agreements anywhere in the world. Now, whether the agreement is a moral agreement or whether the agreement is constitutional in the first place, it is another topic of discussion. But the fact is that these two politicians have understandings when they go for politics. You work for me, I give you this. I work for you, you give me this. Anywhere in the world. Now, what happens when this agreement is breached? How do you fight? That's where politicians are different from each other. People like Asiwaju would fight differently because you understand perception management, you understand strategy and the likes. People like Wike will fight differently. Wike would fight boldly, brutally at the forefront. It doesn't matter whether his reputation is stained or not. And exactly as predicted by, was it Fayoshe when he was giving his speech, it's exactly what is happening at the end of the day. So politicians would disagree. Now, what happens when two politicians disagree? Especially one of the politicians is your minister, the other person is a sitting governor. And then that person that is a minister had actually played a political role for your emergence as a winner or to get vote for you in Rivers State. That minister played a role for you to also get some vote. It was an asset for you. Despite being in another political party, he played a role to ensure that you are able to you win at least Rivers State, which looks like it was impossible to win without his political help. What happens as a president? Politically, you are obliged to also pay them back their favor. And one of the compensations would be that I'm going to give you a minister. But is that the only compensation that will be paid? Whatever both of them agreed is left for them. Politicians will only act on the basis of their interest. Asiwaju is only acting on the basis of his interest. Whether it's a moral decision, whether it's a constitutional decision, he's only acting on the basis of his interest. These two people are fighting. I need this state. I need this. I need to make these two people loyal to me so that I can retain this state. And I will do whatever it takes to be able to get this state. It's not about law. It's not about governance. It's not about anything other than my political interest. And when you analyze it from political interest, there's no way you will find morality here. Is it morally right? No way. For crying out loud, what is expected is that if you are an elected governor in the state, you're supposed to have the full authority to operate because this is your time. Let them allow you to lead that state in accordance to the constitution, in accordance to whatever development you want to bring to the people. But when there's a mix between politics and governance, that is where you always find some of all these problems that occurs. What should Asiwaju have done? I didn't say anything that Asiwaju would have done better. I think earlier before now, because I'm saying this as a politician who wants to get power, who wants to still get this River State itself. When you have two people who are going to be instrumental for your re-election for 2027, what should you do as a politician? Should you allow both of them to fight? Or should you call them together and say, look, is there a way you guys can resolve your differences without fighting? Which I think he had done that earlier before now. And the matter was not solved. And then he decided to take this decision. So he was just being a Machiavellian. He was not being a moral president. He was not being a constitutionally right president. He was just basically being a politician. And I love the way Egorobo and said it. Both of them just played into the gallery of Asiwaju at the end of the day, because Asiwaju is known for being a political strategist and known for someone who plays the game, and he has exhibited that again. And people might also say, but why will Asiwaju also align with someone like Wike? Look, there is no clash of interest aligning with someone like Wike. In fact, there's a lot of sentiment in play. Asiwaju is a godfather. And as a godfather, he puts himself as a godfather where his godsons decide to um, you know, go against his decision. Asiwaju has dealt with some of his godsons. What happened to Ambode? Even what happened to what the former what's that guy's name? Fashola, at some point in time when they had their own grievances. All the people that have had issues with Asiwaju found a way of dealing with them. But his strategy, his ways of fighting kind of indemnifies him from any kind of field, at least to a greater extent. While when Wike fights in such a way that he doesn't care whether the blood stains his clothes. That's just the two difference between the two guys. Both of them are, one is a bigger godfather, the other one is an upcoming godfather. And so both of them, their interests align. This is always going to be, alignment of interest in this first place because they have the same kind of sentiment. And if I can be the godfather of an aspiring godfather, then I'll be the ultimate bigger godfather. I don't know whether this makes sense from the game. So it's not really a moral thing. The lawyers already know that what he had done, or basically from the submission that I've heard or tweets that I've seen from some of those legal experts, it's clear that it was unconstitutional. It's clear that it was undemocratic. But it is not unusual of Asiwaju to do those things because he is a democratic dictator. The type of democracy he practices is not a laissez-faire democracy. He likes control, he likes monopoly, he likes the one party system. And then he's on his way to that, unless there's a strong opposition to take him. So that's just my summation on this.
Okay. The next, please, if you want to speak, raise your. Let me see your hand, please. Christian will go, but before that, let me just lay some. This the first intervention, supposedly intervention, the president did was setting a trap for Fubara. Go and check the ten demands. One of it was all the appointees loyal to Wike should be recalled back. All the court cases all cases in court should be withdrawn, and whatever. Now the state government withdrew theirs, but the House of Assembly did not. That was the case that moved up to the Supreme Court that delivered that judgment. So when someone is interfering or trying to seek to settle matters, and you are doing it not secretly, this is open bias, then you don't want anybody to think anything other than the fact that Asiwaju himself is not even all about Asiwaju want to have the control of the entire River State resource, just as he's doing with Lagos. And that's it. That is, any person that wants to, everybody have opinions, but when you see this kind of thing happening to the point that it would desecrate the constitution in the face of the world, holding a press conference and desecrating the constitution, quoting a constitution section that has nothing to do with the declaration, I don't think if anybody would take that kind of risk, is taking it in the interest of even the people of that state. Talk more of any other thing. So, Christian, please.
Hello, good morning slash good afternoon, everyone. Please signify if you can hear me.
Go on, go
Okay,
on.
okay. First of all, I want to thank the host for giving me the platform to air my view, and I want to also appreciate the voice of those who spoke before me. My name is Honorable Christian Ifeanyi. I'm an engineer and a concerned citizen who seek for a better leadership in Nigeria. Okay, this is my first time to actually air my view in a community space like this. And why it itches me to air my view here is when I consider the entirety of the political drama in Nigeria, I try to sum it up to see how it's benefiting the ordinary citizens, that is you and I who are here, how it's impacting our lives as youth to helping us, one, live and live well as rightful citizens of Nigeria, help us stand out in the global space, help us promote our talent, help us, match the global standard in terms of technology advancement and innovation. When I try summing this up to this pointer, at the end of the day, it doesn't add up. And at the end of the day, too, it appears like my mentality is quite different from what other youths of my age or my time is thinking
Okay,
about.
currently, Christian, just a minute. Currently, there is a heated
I
argument
understand. I'm coming there.
in the
I'm
House
coming
of
there.
Reps
I'm
on this
coming there.
matter.
That is where I'm going. I'm coming there. Allow me land.
Okay.
Sorry, please. Do you understand? I understand this whole Wiki, Fubara, and the presidency, as well as Tinubu's talk. Yes, I will come there. But what I'm trying to say in essence is I see all these things as distractions. I see all this in that we, the Nigerian youth, are not concerned about ourselves and our future and how the development of democracy is benefiting us, because I see it like we measure in the minor. I see that we are not coming together like we ought to be and point to these people what we want and they be answerable to us. Because I'm a leader. I see myself as a nation. I don't see myself as a commoner, even though maybe by now I'm not known, nobody knows me, but I don't feel intimidated and I feel one day I'll be a voice. But I don't want to be a voice in the crooked way. I want to be a voice by following procedures and processes that will show the next generation that this is it, this is the way to follow. Because it is not it is the path we left that speaks after us when we are gone. If you are considering leaders who are gone and they are still mentioned today, they are leaders who have laid a great antecedent. Talking about the South African president, what is his name, Nelson Mandela and the likes. Those persons are the persons whom you can model them and so okay, they laid a good track, not about power and influence. Now, I see the president Tinubu as a citizen and as a one man who is serving the country, and I can be there in the future, right? So I don't see him as being greater than the 2 million persons in Nigeria to manipulating us, because we are gathered in this space to discuss just a few persons, a handful of persons and their influence over 2 million plus persons in Nigeria, and it doesn't add up. And everything going on does not even help to promote our welfare and well-being in Nigeria. The average youth who is in this platform, in this community space today, what is in your mind is to leave the country and jackpot to a place where you think a better life is. And that better life, you think there, somebody made it happen possible because they were able to hold their leaders responsible. So my question is, now, considering Fubara, yes, what is happening to him is regrettable, but I don't really feel for him because why? What is the process through which he came into leadership? Neither am I even controlling the Mr. Tinubu and my president. Let me say my president in quotes, because what is the process that brought him in? Let us look at the process, because no matter what we talk, we can hold spaces upon spaces. There are spaces like this that have been held in the past, and more is still going to be held in the future. So, as leaders, how has this spaces helped to address the challenges that we are facing and that our children would face when they come after us? Because we have to solve a problem and not to keep talking on a problem. What are the processes that brought this man in? If the right process had brought Fubara in, then you will have a better stance to fight, right? We know the process that brought him in. The channels through which you and I today can fight and compromise the judiciary. The common man cannot have justice. We are here today talking because it has not happened to us, but most of us here will grow into the system. Now you're talking about structures and this and that structure that doesn't make any meaning, because that same structure now, I think I listened to Asiwaju's son, his defense about his father leadership. Tomorrow, this same structure you're talking about will be a structure Tinubu will create to tell you that his son will succeed the stage after him as a president. Already, they are installing their own person, their children there. So, what is the hope of you and I? Even if we are not there as leaders, but how have their leadership helped us to survive, to do businesses, to go to school in our own country and get job and do well and live right? Look at the economy, just because of one man coming in without strategy, without plan to inflate everything, and people are dying. See, I am talking because I'm talking out of pain, right? I've been in the hospital for a couple of times. I see how people die carelessly out of, the part government should play and they are not playing because it has not affected you. You come here, maybe you talk politically, but when it affects you, boy, you talk out of pain. I've helped to carry cups to the mortuary where I see that this is an act of carelessness in the hospital equipment, in this and that, where the government has failed in infrastructure. Sometimes I say the best education is to have a common mind, have this insight, this vision, come together as one nation. I think we are up to 1 million youths, 100 million youths in Nigeria. When we have a common mindset, we call these people together and point them. Asiwaju is the one mind, he's not stronger than us. The East, West, South, and North, we call with one voice. Because what is playing in River State is just a shenanigan. It doesn't add up to anything. At the end of the day, who is suffering it? Economic activity will be halted. People can no longer do their business. They will live in fears just because one person did not allow a democratic system to play out as it should. He feels he's a godfather. He installs somebody, and he feels the person did not dance to his tune, and you want to reinstall another person. Does it add up? Where you are now, who claim to go to school, who claim to be citizen, and we are here talking about just two person, two, one, two person. out of how many millions of Nigeria? Because of selfish interest. Selfish interest, that's what I see. And if we don't address this in our children will suffer it. We are already suffering it. It's unbearable. It's unbearable. When you call out the president to air your view on the suffering, they call you out and they want to crucify you. This is military leadership in civilian clothing. Do you understand? I am pained. I am pained. I feel when we hold the community space like this, and we conscientize ourselves to point ourselves to the right direction, tribalism aside, religion aside, nepotism aside, we want to lay a structure as youth of Nigeria. This is the structure. Follow it. The structure should be what? Dividend of democracy. Let's see it. Yes, there may be political plays, but whoever is playing politically, whatever political play should be mindful of the people's interest that we put you there, you're serving us, and we have the power to remove you anytime. Not just some few persons to have the power to remove whoever they want because they feel the person is not dancing to their tune. At least I have peace today. I'm happy where I am in Abia State because I saw democracy play out. And Abians are having the dividends of democracy. Yesterday, I went to the Umuahia while I was coming out from the office of the commissioner. I went to submit some document there. And I was interviewing some Keke person. I say, how did you see the development in Abia State? What can you say about your governor? This is strange. And they told me, yes, indeed, it's strange. That for them, they are seeing it as a joke. Because for them, it's just like a dream that they don't expect this speedy development to take place within a space of 2 years, less than 2 years, that this kind of development is massive. So if the past governors that have left for 25 years and killed the state had followed the same antecedent, which means by now Abia State would have been competing with other, even Lagos State. But because of political godfatherism nonsense, Abia State was stalled for 24 years. This person led, he put his godson, the godson put a, who dare you? Who are you? Out of 20 million people,
Hello,
you're playing godfatherism in
Christian,
people's life?
Christian,
I'm sorry if I'm
Christian.
sounding too harsh. I'm
Uh,
sorry if I'm sounding too harsh. I'm so
no,
sorry.
no, it's not sounding twice. Just try to round up so that other people
Okay,
can speak.
okay, sorry. But what
Justice
I'm saying
one
in
minute.
essence is that please, whether now or in the future, can we hold a global space where we can actually put first the masses, dividend of democracy, and tell these people that we are in charge and not them, that our interest should come first. Can we hold a community where we can tell these people what we want in one voice, whether you are Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, you speak intelligently, demand intelligently, know your rights and know your constitution, and tell them when they are going astray, you point them back, and have the power to remove and install because they are serving you. It is our money, taxpayers' money they are using to work, not their personal money. Whatever they are playing there and doing, it is you and I that is paying them. So that is what I want to bring to our consciousness, that let us have this discussion, at least point to our own rights rather than the rights of few people and what they want and their selfish interests or whatever play they are doing, who doesn't benefit you and I. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm sorry if I sounded too rash. I'm just as a concerned citizen and I appreciate the moment
No,
and the
no.
time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will advise that first of all, we should try as much as possible with this kind of zeal and passion that we have. Look for like minds around you within. Start from a smaller group. You can only control what is within you, what you can see. So if you can actually start holding people around you responsible, doing some community this and community that, from there you can get to the larger one. But having from nowhere to the bigger picture and that you just scatter everything. So you should try as much as possible to be doing it outside the social media, on the ground, bring him like minds and practice from there. We can get it, we can do it. Some people have started doing it. So thank you for your submission. Dr. Charles, right? Charles K.
Hi, thank you very much for the time. Big Daddy, how are you? Um, I just want to, add my voice to those who are calling the president out on what he has done, the illegal acts he has committed in River State. Um, I will come from, I have looked at the situation. I've looked at the scenario. I don't want to come from the political side because it's subject to a lot of interpretation. I just want to stay within the constitutional rights of Governor Fubara and the constitutional right of the people of Rivers State and Nigerian people as a whole. The president's sat yesterday, having listened to a lot of advice. Don't get me wrong, he had a lot of advice from the Attorney General to any other person who is a lawyer there, and before he
Sorry,
came,
sorry,
yeah.
sorry. Big Daddy, please accept request.
Accept who?
I think there was a request. Aisha, don't worry. She's on the speaker section now. Okay, go on, sir. Sorry for the interruption.
That's fine, no problem. So my point.
For those whose request I can't see, I'll soon address it. I'll soon address it. For those whose request I can't see, I'll soon address it. I'm driving.
So you know, um, the president has a lot of people to advise him, both political, you know, legally and otherwise. However, in my own submitted opinion, the president's advice is completely flawed. Whoever gave the president the advice to suspend a sitting governor does not mean well for the president, because the president does not have that right. The right to suspend a governor is not anywhere the rights the president enjoys. He has the power to appoint this person, that person, do this one. He does not have the power to appoint a governor. He does not have a power to remove a governor. The constitution of Nigeria is absolute. Please, let's stay here. I don't want to go into the politics because it's subject to a lot of interpretations. I want to stay on the constitutional side of things. The president failed to uphold the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria that he sworn an oath to uphold by issuing an illegal suspension order on another arm of government. Is the president right to declare state of emergency? He is absolutely right. He can do anything he wants. Anything that the constitutional gives him power to do, the constitution gives him power to do, he can do it, he can exercise it. So the issue of whether he should issue state of emergency in River State, he can do anything. But does he have the right to suspend a sitting governor? No. Someone asked me, how is the administrator going to work with the city? That is his business. If he's taking advice to issue a state of emergency, he should also go and take advice on how the sole administrator who is going to supervise his emergency rule in River State is going to work within the constitution, because the constitution has not created a position for a sole administrator. We must stay within the constitution, because that is the only document that we all can agree to. Forget if when we start talking, sentiments will start going up and about. The PDP, APC, Labour Party. This one, that one, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa. Just leave all of those sentiments aside, please. Let us look at what is happening to our constitution. The president has carried our constitution and tore it. He must be stopped. Tinubu must be stopped for his own good and for the good of the people of Nigeria. He must be stopped. He wants to keep a name for himself. He wants to protect his name. He wants to build on a legacy and all of those things. He cannot be a president that will be remembered for, going against the constitution, invoking a power that he does not have, removing a sitting governor. Please, that is where we should look at this. Okay. Every other sentiments, I don't want to go into it. Whether Winke is doing that, Fuba is not doing that. What is playing out is a failure of a whole system. It's a failure of government. That is what is playing out. So I don't want to go there because it should not even be an issue in the first place. It shouldn't even be an issue in the first place. If that the president tried to save the people because he tried to save Fubara because so he will not be impeached. Sorry, if Fubara has committed impeachable offense, the constitution provides for him to be impeached. The president should uphold the constitution, not go against the constitution. Today it's happening there today. Tomorrow it could happen somewhere else. We must come to a decision where we begin to exist as a people. As a people, look, I was telling somebody the other day, I said, look, we want Nigeria that is going to be better in 10 years' time, right? Okay. Well, when I use the word better, it's subjective, so I don't want to go there. So I'm taking it to the very far extremes. Better, right? But we must begin the process today. It's not just you're not going to wake up in the morning and Nigeria is better. No. So it's a process. You have to do that. So that process begins with us accepting to follow the constitution and accepting to call out the president when the president does something wrong. In any case, I expect if we still have, the opposition in Nigeria, I expect the PDP, the Labour Party, the SDP, and all of the other parties to approach the courts and ask for interpretation of this. I expect the people of Rivers State to, to go to court and go and contest this. I expect the people of Nigeria. I expect the NBA to go to court to get a clear interpretation. I expect the National Assembly to go to court to get a clear interpretation of this. I submit my mic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Gross pay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Aruna, let me just update the people in the house now. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me, Aruna?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
yeah, yeah. I hear you.
Can you guys hear me? My
So
network is bad.
we're
You can
having
allow me quickly
we're
to.
having the House of Reps. It seems are not having it. There is raucous in the house as it is, and uh, and to the glory of God, it is our women that are championing it. Two House of Rep members stood their ground, and they were women. They said this cannot stand. So we'll see how that pans out. You see, there is another thing I saw on the timeline, or I've seen on the timeline that I don't know. I don't know. Someone, this guy that people, I don't know what's his name. This guy that always put this power bank that has APC's name on it. They are mocking Fubara now and all of us Nigerians. And it is when Dr. Charles mentioned it that I remembered it, that he said, this case, it will start from Federal High Court. So their tactics is, let us do the illegality. We'll use our stooges in the judiciary to forestall the case, even if it is illegal. By that time, it is we have already done what we want to do, or whatever it is that they are thinking is as regards that. It is so terrible what we are seeing. But let's continue the conversation.
Gross pay,
Aruna,
please.
let's have Aisha before we
Yeah, gross pay,
let's have
please.
Aisha before
Gross pay, please. Let Aisha go before you.
I will step
Someone's
down.
mic is on. Sorry,
Why
sorry,
would you do that?
sorry. That is why I speak.
Sorry, Aisha is the stakeholder on this space,
She's
please.
the only female
Sorry,
here, sef.
she was a co-host. So let's have her.
Please, no vex.
Sorry, I won't even take long. My network is bad. That's why I even dropped as co-host. Can you guys hear me?
Go on, go on, go on.
Okay. So if you recall before, and apologies, Gospel, I won't take up to 2 minutes. I drew attention to how will the sole administrator govern. I've listened to the speech by the president where he says that basically, like I said, pointed out, judiciary is still there. Executive and the legislature have been suspended. So the sole administrator does not have power to make current new laws, but there's a caveat: he can make regulations. However, such regulations will be approved by the Federal Executive Council. Now, these are my areas of concern as a lawyer. I don't know where the power is coming from. I honestly don't know. And who makes up the FEC? It is the ministers of the president. This will include Wiki. So I honestly, like, I've just sat in silence for a while. I've been putting it through, like, okay, how does this go? In a democracy, rule of law and the constitution, they go hand in hand, right? So if you had these measures provided in the constitution, by all means. But I honestly do not even, because I'm trying to see is there even a middle ground to make an excuse? But there are areas of concern, right? When we take oath as public officials to work, it is to work for Nigeria. It is not for one individual or a group of individuals. That is our allegiance. It is to the country. Make no mistake about it. I am very clear as to my allegiance. For those who are saying this is where you work, just be very extremely clear, right? So at the end of the day, I don't see this as a legal thing. I honestly cannot place it, because for me, and this is where my concern, there must be a law from which you say you have maybe not interpreted it well, blah, blah, blah. 305, I've been looking at it. I have not seen an official instrument, a gazette, before the proclamation. I haven't seen it. Maybe it's been done. But I hope, like in building the country, all our leaders across the divides, across your ethnicity, please be paying very close attention to what is going on. I really don't understand. And I'll yield. I'll come back later, but yeah.
Okay, well, please, Grospay, before you go, there is somebody that tagged me to something. Look, I am an Igala man. So if Yoruba people defended the president for whatever he did, defended Tinubu, defended Buhari, whether good, bad, you use your name, they call you Yoruba slave, Fulani slave, or don't try it and tell me any day that because you supported Buhari, you defended Buhari, I am obliged to defend
Haruna, sorry,
Tinubu.
one quick point I forgot to add too. The federal, to make regulations is a law-making duty, more or less. It's a subsidiary kind of action given to, I don't understand how a FEC will approve regulations for a state that is constitutional. Some things, I don't know yet how to, it's going on a straight line and it's bending. I don't understand that even if this is the course of action, how can this be backed? Man, guys.
So, uh, me, I cannot defend something that is clear to me, to my own eye. I don't know how to go and manufacture defense from nowhere. Maybe during the time of Buhari, you people have here to manufacture your defense and defended him with everything you have. And after 8 years, you now saw all the bad things that you defended and you are not saying that I should defend all the bad things. Because for you to tell me that because you supported Buhari,
Aruna, let's just even move on. Let's not
no,
keep
we'll
it
move on. I don't
let's
wanted
not
to
make it
make this. I
personal.
just wanted to make this clear. Not because you find a way to defend Buhari, then Ramadan and Igala man should come and defend everything to stand by you. Me, I'm not an hypocrite. Oh. I can be a bigot, but not an hypocrite. Please, nobody should ever tag me to it. If not, I will not mind. If you tell me that, I will insult the entire lineage of your family.
No, no, no.
That
Take it easy, Aruna.
I'm just giving that
Take
as
it
a
easy,
guideline.
Aruna.
Sorry, gross pay. Sorry for taking your time, please. Go on.
Good afternoon, everyone on the space. I quickly want to make this submission and I will leave because I'm sure many people are about coming up. Number one, what Mr. President has done is clear and in line and constitutionally correct. If people do not have access to documents, you do not come on space to say what you are not cognizant or
Gross
know
pay.
that it is. Please,
Gross pay.
please, please.
Wait, sorry, I'm not gagging you, but please, you use the word if people are not have access to documents. You will make a promise. One, he said that you will provide those documents before you speak, or after you speak, you will speak with direct sections. You will quote them for us, and we have to confirm it. You will promise that you will quote them for us for we to confirm it, or you will leave our space. Before you go on, please.
You will not gaslight me and
No, I will not. Sorry, me, I did not meet you. I will not gaslight you, but I will remove you. I will do it. You will give us. You will make a promise that you must quote. If you make any comment, you don't come out. Who come out? You come out. You. How will you come on public space and you want to? Do you think here is a easy of Lagos space that you speak anything? Me, I no come
No,
out.
don't reference any case.
You you
Aruna, don't
you,
reference any
you
case.
just want to come and tell us you think that we are daft, all of us wey dey here we no go school, that we don't have access to documents.
I don't know if you let them speak now. If you
No,
let
I
them speak.
wanted him to, no, sorry, I understand it. Me, I wanted him to be very clear so that you understand the space he is. That yeah, you have to quote it because he said that we don't have access to the document. So because now he has left the space because he knows that he doesn't have it. Me, I don't condone it. Anytime you must be very, very clear with what you want to do. He should come back. Oh, you people that sent him to go and bring him back. Oh, Dr. Charles.
Thank you very much, Haruna. I think I raised my hand when my sister Aisha was talking. Um, I think, look, the thing is, right? Uh, we are students of law and constitution, and we were taught some basic things. If it's not there, it's not there. We're not going to find it. So it's an illegal act. It's not going to be. It's not ever going to surface. You understand? It's an illegal act. The only thing that will come out of it is, or one of the possible outcomes will be, that you have the people making the political case. You understand? Using the political case to justify the illegal acts. But if you subject it to pure constitutional interpretation, right, and legal interpretation, is not going to hold any point because the sole administration is not mentioned anywhere in the constitution. So how is it going to work? You understand? Somebody is telling me, but he did not remove. I said, if you suspend, you remove. The powers of the executive governor is very clear. If you suspend the governor, That means you have assumed a power that you either have or you don't have for you to take that decision. And in this case, Tinubu does not have that power anywhere. So whatever he's going to do from now will be based on illegality, and he should be called out for that. You understand? He should be called out for that. Yes, my brother, Big Daddy, you are right. I mean, part of the strategy will be, to get the case to drag on, and all of those things. And 6 months will come, and all of those things will happen, and all that. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But like I said, the nation building, we must start today. So we must challenge Tinubu in court, right? If it takes 7 months, 1 year for us to get a decision, we will. We will get a decision that is going to move the country forward. Except the National Assembly rush and go and start their constitutional review and and change this whole story. You understand? Except they go and do that now. The one that that Tinubu has done is an illegal act, and it should be called out. Thank you.
Okay. African leaders should quickly go. Then we have is it Alfonso? Then Justice for all. Yusuf, you don't raise your hand. Bro. It is the hand I saw. That is what I will go with. African leadership. Are you guys hearing him? Me, I'm not hearing him.
I can hear you, Aruna, but I cannot hear African leadership.
Oh, and, sorry, are you guys hearing African
No,
leadership?
no, no. I've dropped him. Let's go. Let's move on.
We can only hear you, Aruna.
Okay, Alfonso.
Okay, yeah. Good afternoon, Big Daddy and
Alfonso
Haruna.
just came up now. Okay, all of them are new. Okay, continue.
Yeah,
All of them just came up now.
all of us are new here. So, everybody, good afternoon. Already afternoon here. Anyway, Justice and Yusuf, good afternoon. Anyway, Big Daddy, thank you for this space. I've been listening. Anyway, so, okay, starting from what the last speaker said, as it is in the constitution, there's nothing else that can happen, even when there is a review or they change the constitution today. If they change it today, it will affect the decision that was made because in law it's only decrees that you backdate. You don't backdate new laws or constitution that are made. So the judgment in the court will be based on what happened before that one the decision was actually made. So by constitution, looking at what has happened, I think if you are going through the court and the court is going to decide, um, any provision they use to do the wrong thing cannot be said to be a constitutional matter. But it's unfortunate that we have come to this end. And hopefully, I even hope that the president of Nigeria works back on this decision and try to settle it outside this whole nonsense that is happening. Because, and I also think that the President Tinubu doesn't care about Rivers people, doesn't care about Rivers State, and doesn't care about anything. I mean, I think I should start apologizing for some of the things I said against Buhari because I saw Buhari's 8 years tenure. Amechi was doing similar thing with Wiki. He didn't bother to interfere. Oshomole and Obaseki, he didn't bother. Just he allowed them have their spaces, do whatever he want to do, but do not disrupt anything that doesn't. So he minded his business. And this is someone who came through the military, whom, even in his own personal opinion, doesn't much believe in democracy as it were. But democracy was handed over to him. He managed it however he wished, and he left office just like that. But you have a Tinubu who claimed that, see, we fought for this democracy, doing this thing, damaging a constitution that, in a very fragile time. I mean, I think what he did is very unnecessary. If he wanted peace in Rivers State, it was very simple. The easiest thing he would have done was to ask Wiki to stop what he's doing. And I believe he had done that, there will be peace in Rivers State without even going into Fubara's matter or anything. I mean, Wiki has been the problem of Rivers State. trying to manipulate the members of House of Assembly and the other people to actually cause unrest in Rivers State. And secondly, this is what I want to say. In the case of the National Assembly, because I've listened, they say National Assembly will decide. But early morning when I woke up, the very first news I saw was that the National Assembly spokesman saying that they were duly consulted before the decisions was made. So I was kind of lost. Does it mean they will not have sittings where they will vote to decide this? Have they given their go ahead to the whole impeachment nonsense? Because I mean, I don't really understand, to be honest with you, because the way it is now, um, the Senate president, I don't know what the rule is exactly. Is it that the National Assembly must confirm it through the process of?
Afoso, your this thing is breaking.
Is it
Hello,
breaking?
can you hear?
Yeah, I
No,
can
Your
hear
this
you.
thing, your
I can
you
hear
are
Alfonso
breaking.
clearly. Oh. I can hear
I
him
can hear.
clearly.
I can hear. I can hear you guys clearly. Yeah. Is it breaking? Anyway. Okay. For me, I don't really know. Is it stipulated that the National Assembly, through a particular process, must affirm this, or will this one that they just said that they were duly consulted, will it just fly without them needing to have sitting votes and decide what will actually happen? Because if the latter is the case, that I think there's a problem, and hopefully that is not the case. And I think the whole anarchy things that they're about to bring in Rivers State, I think Rivers people, whether the militants, the common human beings, the politicians, everybody should remain calm. They shouldn't rush into any form of rash action because the president who doesn't care about them is making a very political decision to favor his minister for whatsoever reason. I mean, you want to win an election, that's not. I mean, what exactly is the importance of the numbers in Rivers State if it's winning an election? I don't really know because it wasn't the 300,000 votes that this guy arranged for him that made him president. Definitely, it wasn't. If you remove it and add it to another person, he would have still emerged the winner of the election. So, for me, I don't really know what exactly is the problem there. Is it for political reasons? I think Rivers people should
There is
just
2 million. Sorry, there is 2 million votes in Rivers State that needs to be annexed. So it's part of it.
okay. They want to return us to the days of Obasanjo when all registered voters were actually accounted to have voted. Anyway, if that's the case, there's no problem about it. I know Rivers usually have high voter registration, but since we started using card reader and beavers, the numbers are not that high. So whatever is looking for in River State, or is it their oil wealth that they are trying to destabilize the place? Because I kind of wanting to believe the latter, that they want to destabilize the place so that they can take over some of their resources. Because if they destroy anything now, they will still be face the consequences. It is not the federal government who will suffer it. So I think for me, Rivers people should remain calm, and but I think whether Fubara, anybody there, they should nobody should even allow this thing stand. I don't even the person who has been appointed, the Cross River General. I think he should honorably not even go to Rivers State for any reason. He should just tell the president that he's not in support of this, so that we know that we have some sane people in this country. And I want President Tinubu, as bad as he has his administration has been, I want him to look at this decision just like what he did when he was Americans were pushing him to go into war with Niger Republic. To look back at this and say, no, 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 I got this thing wrong, and go back, because I think the only people who make important decisions in Nigeria has been people in the north who know when to protect the interests of the nation or their interests. If not for these people, Nigeria would have been fighting war with Niger up to today, because I'm very sure that we wouldn't have won that war by this time. The war would have continued,
The,
and you know
Women,
how it
sorry,
would have.
Sorry,
affected us.
Alfonso.
Because,
Alfonso, just a minute.
yeah,
Alfonso, Aruna,
I'm
do you
hearing you.
have do you have a Bluetooth speaker with you?
No, sir.
I'm not at home. I wanted us to play. They said the Attorney General of the Federation is addressing the nation. So I was thinking we could play
My big
it
daddy, you
here
go
so
set that
people know.
corner, shoe. I go play am for you. I dey toss small
Okay,
small.
okay. All right, let me send you the link. Okay.
Okay, go on now, also. Just round up in 1 minute.
yeah, yeah, 1 minute. So for me, I think the Akpabio led Senate was already supporting Tinubu to go and invade Niger and start fighting war, yeah, an unnecessary war. And I'm seeing him taking the same stand on this particular thing. So if the Senate will sit on this, I think every 1 minute senator, because the ones in Rivers State definitely will support this nonsense. So I'm not counting on them. Every other person should stand against this rubbish. I mean, it's totally unacceptable. It's even unconstitutional, and I think it's even an impeachable offense. But I don't even want to look into that. What even in a case it's actually constitutional, I don't think now is the time for him to do this type of thing because it's totally unacceptable. I mean, it's very irrational that he's doing something like this. You talk about breakdown of law and order. We look at Nigeria. We have seen what has happened in so many places. The president turned blind eye to it and everything. Like in the whole of Southeast, on Monday is almost a total lockdown for a very long time. He didn't see it as a security threat or anything or breakdown or law order. He didn't declare state of emergency, removing the five Southeastern governors and replacing them with whoever he wants. But and that's a real security threat. But for one or two reasons, he decided to go into Rivers State and started meddling into their internal politics. So for me, I think it's a decision that every Nigerian should reject. And for the people who are supporting him, I don't really know. And this is the difference between Obasanjo and Tinubu. This is actually the difference. The decisions Obasanjo got wrong, like these ones and the other ones, many people did not give him any support on it. They were either quiet or openly opposing him, including his party members. But what we have seen now is some people coming out, even if um, the worst decision is made, they will even as if they have even started supporting him before he has made the decision. In a case he goes back on the decision, they will still support him. I think you people who do this thing, you should grow up and be bigger than this nonsense. We have seen enough of this, and it's totally looking ridiculous. And imagine, just like what I mean is this: now that he has made this decision, you guys came here and supported him. The day he goes back and say, okay, I got it wrong, let us follow another way, they will still come back and say he did the right thing, just like they did with the Niger case.
Okay.
I think you
Uh,
people should stop. I beg you people. Thank you, Haruna. Yeah, that's my last statement on this. I think they
just,
should stop doing this. We are not fools. Thank you.
thank you. Justice was supposed to go, but Ambassador Israel has been dropping and coming. Ambassador, is your network okay now?
Yes, is very okay. Thank you so much for the clarity. Am I audible?
Go on, go on, go on.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Uh, I think I want to, of course, sympathize with women in Nigerians on what I describe as unconstitutional means of of appropriating, justice. I think if we follow the political crisis in Rivers, it is not something that started today, and it has been on for some time. So, but what a responsive and a responsible government would have done was to, avert the crisis at, at when due, and not this fire brigade approach to solving a lingering issue with a temporary solution. What I mean is simple. I think the first shots in the head that Mr. President made was to even declare a state of emergency. Then the other parties, the suspension of an elected sitting governor, which based on what he used to, make this decree. I'm talking of Section 305 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended. Of course, if you check the provision in Section 188, it was clearly stated, and the Constitution is not an ambiguous statement. There's a clear provision for that. I think it's always good to understand, the Constitution and what the provision of the Constitution states. So if you read through the provision in section 188 as to why a government or the president in quotes can uh, make such decree or declare a state of emergency. Of course, if you check other states in the past, that there has been a lot of political dramas or crises. I've not seen any time that the president, deemed fit to declare the state of emergency. So that tells you that it's not even about the constitution, but about political interest in court. And it's saddening because the interest of the people is not being considered before making some of these decisions. If you say, okay, you are doing it for the interest of the people, then I think the recourse should be addressed holistically and not just, uh, 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 declaring a state of emergency in guise of making peace, and then you are not addressing the cause of the situation. Of course, we know what actually causes it and what can be done to solve the situation. But the Mr. President, decided to just look away and not addressing that due to reason best known to him. And it's a very sad tragedy because if it goes on like this, I don't pray for anarchy because the people, of course, might later revolt. And I just would, of course, advocate for a peaceful means at this moment because this is a time that the people need not to use violence, to address the situation. The deed has been done, but I think it's not too late also for Mr. President to reconsider this decision because it's not constitutional, it is not legal, and it's a bad precedent for our democracy. If you say we are a democratic nation, and then the basic tenet of democracy is not being followed through or practiced, then it's a bad signal to the way we've been looked at in the international community. So we should consider the interest of the people before making some of this, action. And that takes me to, my final thought on this uh, or drama. I think it is our time to we understand that this whole call for Bara and Wiki, of course, they were once friends and they all had one or two agreement that they both had together. But we should also be careful because what I'm seeing is just a mess of of two power egos, at play, and it is very saddening that the people are, trying to take side and all of that. But we should be careful because we understand
I
how
bet
this
your
guy
network,
also
your
Kubara
network
came
is
in. Of course, there was some controversy as regards, whether people voted or not. They know how they, brought him in. So the most important thing at this moment is we should know the kind of leaders that we elect, in place of position when it matters most. Thank you.
hello, are you guys hearing Ambassador? I think he's done.
Yes, I'm done. I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. Justice.
Okay, Big Kahuna, I greet you special. Haruna, I also greet you special. Thank you for a well done job for stopping that guy, even in his thought, from coming to say
present the what they call it, the budget, and you did not see the video where they lock him out, and the assembly went on indefinite recess or whatever they call it. Then after the indefinite recess, they are coming back to issue impeachment later. Are you aware of
Okay.
that?
Now why ain't go bulldoze the building?
Eh?
Now why ain't bulldoze the building?
Who bulldozed whose building? When what happened? Why did police put tear gas and shoot him directly when they were illegally trying to impeach him the first time?
Oh God.
Or you are not aware that he was stopped? The police stopped him and shot direct shot at them.
Aruna,
You are not aware of
Aruna, you have been
the first time.
compromised. Now it's
It's
I see
not being
so.
compromised. I'm giving. We are having conversation now. So Shepi, you give me
We dey get
your own
conversation, but we
everything.
don't dey get her clear because
So
you know they talk
I am
bias.
compromised. So as you too, you're also compromised by Wike, because you are trying as much as possible. No, that you are trying as much as possible to make allegations that you don't have facts
Which
on
one
it,
be allegation where I don't get fact?
and you are
See,
trying. You are
I've made my
struggling now.
case. I don't make my case
It
very
is
clear.
struggle to look for ways
We
to justify the illegal suspension, the insult
What
the
is
president
illegal? Okay,
made
what
on
is
our
illegal about the suspension of this man now? Or what be illegal? Tell me
where
why
in
it
the
is illegal.
constitution,
Uh,
where in the constitution, quote the constitution, please,
you
where
know the
he give
constitution now. What they
the
talk now?
president.
Do you know be 305? Room 306.
You don't read the 306.
No be
You don't read them.
no be 305. I mean they say now room 306.
305. You don't read
Thank
them.
you.
You
Oh
don't read
yeah,
them.
wait till the talk.
No, if you don't read them, maybe me, I don't read everything. So maybe you go give me
So
the clause
from
inside
that
that 305.
constitution now, are you trying to
Um,
say to the president not get the power to do what he do so?
there is nothing in that constitution, in the entire constitution and that section he quote, nothing suggests
Hey,
anything that even link to either suspension. It is not in that place. If you have it, you can tell us.
so the
Maybe
power
I've
way
read it. Maybe
the
there's a
power
clause
the
or a
power
word that suggests.
the power where the president gets to put in state of emergency due to perceived threats from the state governor, where they talk say he go other boys. The pipeline called the go off 3 hours we speak. Is that not enough reason?
There is two things there. Whether
Okay.
there is reason or no reason, there is difference between declaring a state of emergency due to security threats and suspending the constitution as constituted authorities in the state. And there is no law, no section, no clause, no words that give that states the power of a sole administrator in any of the federation. If
But
you
the
have it,
same
tell
okay,
us.
but the same governor now where you they try make we get and clear. The same governor now where they talk. He no even recognize the constitution power of the state house of assembly.
How?
Ah, that's the way to say I ain't get them. He have the right to do what he like with them. I mean, you never see
He
that video
said
too. I don't talk now. Make I find the video call for you. I mean, you never see it too. I get the video. I don't go on indefinite strike. I don't suspend her. Anyways, let's proceed. You see, this political matter, now political matter. So people try make a ethnic, and any small thing. You see, the thing is, when there's political problem, you solve it politically. The moment you call the try you won't call ethnicize any political problem. You just, in fact, shot yourself in the foot, and that is one of the problem that these people they don't understand. Everything no be gra gra. They know they win use gra gra win case. Some things you strategize. Some things you guys know say, okay, how do you play your cards? You enter government house with a call am, Godfather. Then You know, say no be all the speaker and everything. I be how they call these people way they there. No be you put them. You know, say them those ones they get their allegiance to another side. You enter there and Congo they get issue with the best way put you there, and you know, say those people will always side with him. As a smart person, what should you do? These are things where people need to start to dey learn. Future politicians should learn from this. Loyalty pays. And if you don't loyal, you go collect. And if you collect finish, you go cry. You go cry. I go pour spit for your eyes. And I pour spit for Fubara eyes so as we dey talk. For this matter, I don't hear wetin I don't hear, and I don't suspend this bros wey dey here before Aruna. I don't suspend that indefinitely. Big Daddy, thank you for giving me your platform to yarn my mind. You don't see, I don't see people that they carry talk up and down. This matter is not a ethnic matter, a political matter. And people where they try put and say, now one kind such versus now lie you. Now lie. We know where they play for ground. Others one where they carry talk up and down. Mona take time, I go collect and I go post it for now. I thank you. Una good night.